Welcome to Hardly Initiated. It is your host, Tyshawn Jackson, and here with my co-host, Ryan Ketchens. And today, we have brought an amazing guest in town all the way from D.C. to help you figure out today if you are getting played. Let's get to it. Welcome to Hardly Initiated. It is your host, Tyshawn Jackson, my co-host, Ryan Ketchens.
I can already tell, man. It's going to be a powerful one right here.
You need to watch too.
I like that.
I discovered porn when I was a child. My mom.
To get that white man's accent out of him. He pursued me, I ran.
The brother I want don't care.
This is dope.
We need to have a threesome.
There you go. When you miss down there.
Welcome back, family. It is time. How you feeling? Drop a flame in the chat if you are here with us live. Welcome, everybody, to Hardly Initiated. Family, how y'all feeling, man?
Honestly, man, I still feel refreshed because I know we took that week off.
Yes.
And I'm still feeling good, man.
Yeah.
Tisia, what's up with you?
I feel great. You know, I'm kind of just touched down.
Yeah.
One night only. I'm from out of town. So,
Woo. Welcome to the city.
Yeah, I love Atlanta. I ate as soon as I got here, too.
That's what you do when you're in Atlanta. You come in town, you eat. She came in town from D.C. A lot of y'all already know the sister because I see y'all in the chat. Yes, this
Chicago.
is the sister from Ready to Love. This is D.C. edition, wasn't it?
Yes, Rachel of DC.
Yes. Excellent. So look, we glad to have you here on the Hardly Initiated platform. Let the crowd go ahead and give you a round of applause for being in here with us today. Also, man, before we get into the show, man, big shout out to Delano, man.
Yeah.
Little bro, we actually went to a showcase. You know, a lot of people don't know, not only is he the guy working the switcherboard and all the stuff that behind closed doors, but he had an acting showcase. He's an actor. My mom came in, Ryan came. The whole fam was out there, and we actually watched him act in a showcase. Lama, you got a photo of everybody? Pull the photo up, man. Pull the photo up. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Hey.
That's him. That's him right there in the white sweater.
Pull the one up with Ryan, man. Prove that Ryan was in the building. You ain't got the other photo? Oh, he said he's. There we go.
There we go, man.
There go Hardly Initiated there.
There we go.
And that was his acting partner in there as well. That was a really good time last night.
They did a terrific job. I mean, honestly, it was the best. I think it was like 6 performances. It was definitely hands down the best for sure.
It was a 16-minute showcase, and they really came in and rocked that joint. I was very proud to see that. Very proud of you to make sure we let you know that.
There's some young honeys in there for Delano too, man.
It was. Yeah,
young wholesome honeys in there.
Some young wholesome honeys was in there, right? Not the ratchets. And we getting Delano right, y'all. Let me tell y'all, he learning.
He's a gentleman.
He's a gentleman.
You know what? So, and this is kind of I guess a segue because let's talk about the cars, right?
Yeah.
I want Delano to maybe next week he can share his experience with the cars
because he used the Hardly in Love cars on his date.
First off, he would. I mean, he done told me about his dates before. This had to have been this was a real date. Picked the young lady up. He's 20, by the way. Picked the young lady up, took her out to a nice dinner,
right? Cafe Intermezzo. That's a nice little. Hey, if you ain't down for coffee, I know you don't like coffee dates. You don't like that one.
Exactly,
right?
exactly.
It's a sexy spot.
Then had a situation where I'll let him tell it.
Okay.
But this is the thing, guys. Most people just get so caught up in work that they forget actually how to have fun on dates. So my boy, of course, if you're one of my best friends, I've been dropping these cards out to everybody. One of my best friends, I've been knowing him since I was 16 years old in high school, actually stopped by his crib just to drop off the cars because he said he's getting back in the game. Past couple of years, he be kind of chilling, working on some projects. So he's like, yo, I'm ready to get back in the game, okay? I swear to y'all, he just called me about an hour before the show. He's like, Ryan, if you don't know how to talk to women, this is all you need. He a little rusty. I ain't trying to call him out. He a little rusty.
Yeah.
And I asked him how many cars he used. He only used about 10 of them. But he was like, he had a great time because he didn't really know where to go. He didn't know what to do. Kept it very simple. Pulled out this deck of cards and got it popping.
Woo!
Easy.
So, guys, and look, the beauty of it is, y'all know we did something special for the month of February, the month of connection, right? Love 20, we gave you guys 20% off, and today is the 28th. It's the last day of the month, so it's the last day to capitalize on this here. So in the description, we have went ahead and linked your ability to go ahead and purchase that right there. So go ahead and click it and get your Hardly in Love deck today. Now let's switch our focus back to this amazing guest that we have here today. Man, welcome to the platform again.
Thank you.
You know, it's interesting because, you know, of the guests that we have, you are definitely on the spicier variety. When I'm thinking about the content, yeah, you know, we bring all pastors and preachers and, you know, married husbands and why. Listen, you and here's why I say that, because you put out content that you're gonna have some people saying absolutely, hell yeah, sis, and then you might have the fellas over here like, oh hell no, right?
Right.
But I think that's still worthy for us to have some discussion about, because I want to go into a bit of that here today, especially if we trying to free the sisters, because I ain't gonna lie, a lot of y'all are getting played, right? I get the emails, are you getting the DMs? They DMing you?
DMs, voice notes, messages, emails, everything.
Yeah.
And from your end, like when you see those DMs, especially from the sisters that you know is just raggedy and they getting played, what are some of the things that you see that they're probably consistently experiencing on their end that they're communicating to you?
Lack of self-love. That's the biggest thing. And I think it's interesting because a lot of times what I really encourage women to do is just know themselves so that you can know who you want to date, dig in your past, figure out, you know, who your parents were, what kind of household you grew up in, because literally the man you dating is a reflection of that. So I think that most of the time it's just like they're lost. They don't really know themselves and they end up in a whole bunch of foolishness. And I think that just relationships in general, everybody got something to say about relationship. Everybody has dated somebody. Everybody has, you know, been in some type of space where they can speak to their experience. But I really take it very seriously because I think I have been like more like in a clinical space, like having psychology degrees, but also just more in a fun space. So I give a clinical kind of natural approach to dating. And so I think that women find it kind of like funny and like it's funny, but it's serious at the same time. So yeah.
So, you know, listen, and we're going to help the people. Let me tell you what we're going to do special this episode. This episode, we're going to open the phone lines up much earlier than we traditionally do.
Right.
All right. So if you are a lady that might be getting played right now, all right, and even the fellas, all right, because listen, ladies is pimps too, all right.
Yeah.
So fellas, if you also might be going through a situation like that where you think it's a little rocky, whatever the case is, I want the family to come up on here and talk about it. So we're gonna open up the phone lines in just a little bit. So stay patient with us. But it's going to happen very quickly. But I do want to get the conversation rolling just so we can get some context to this conversation. Because if we can even just start here based on, you know, your knowledge of, you know, the clients that you've dealt with, that you're coaching, and just even your personal experience, what are some signs that you think are really good to start with that a young lady might be getting played?
I think that not being open, that's just like a thing. Like if you find it's a difference between like just, you know, not sharing a lot of things. Maybe he's just not some super emotional person, but just somebody that's just hard to crack and it just seems like they're hiding stuff and you don't really know anything about them, right? That's just one thing that I feel like just baseline. If he's not open to share, but he's trying to enter a relationship or have some type of relations with you and he's just not open about some of the things that he's going through or that he's dealt with in the past or his family, just like secrecy, I think off the rip is just not a good sign. But also just somebody who is not open and generous. That's another reason. You will always run into a wall with that.
Open and generous. What do you mean by that?
Generous with time, generous with resources, generous with their family, generous with like bringing you into spaces. Like generosity is not just about money. It's actually about somebody willing to invest in you and like share their world with you. And so like if you're not over time entering those kind of spaces, this person is probably don't probably have long-term intentions with you.
Generous with time and money. How does that look?
It's like a helpmate, a partner, like a helpmate. Like if I told you I lost my AirPod 3 months ago, you know what I'm saying? Like somebody who is just showing up, somebody who is like, you had a meeting, they're like, hey, how did that meeting go? How did that, how did the project that you're working on go? Somebody that can fill voids, that, see, I think just overall just being a helpmate, somebody that can see the missing pieces and what you have going on. And, you got to pay to play. A lot of times, unfortunately, for me, men hate talking about money, but those things cost, it does cost to show up. And not all of it costs, but some of it does, yeah.
Yeah, it does cost a date. That's just the reality of the situation, which is why, depending on, where you're at as a man, you just might have to put dating on hold altogether to just really focus on yourself.
Yes.
Now, here's what I would say. It's interesting because the very first thing you brought up was that one thing that might be a concern is if a brother is not necessarily open about some of the things that he's went through with his past. With his family. And I guess some of those more vulnerable conversations. Now, the thing about it is, what I would say is, it's going to be, most guys I think is going to struggle there. Because most guys struggle even having that conversation with other men.
Absolutely. Alone.
I'm not really sitting around with my closest guys talking about childhood trauma. That ain't what we talking about.
Yeah.
So the reality is, it's trickier to use that as a baseline to whether or not he's playing you, because just as men, we just really we can tend to not be as reflective, even ourselves, on a lot of the things that we've necessarily went through. But I can see what you're saying, what you mean when you start talking about a man who is not as generous in these other areas. But if you had to figure out, or I guess point a finger on what were probably one of the most important areas for a man to show generosity in early, to determine whether or not this is an authentic interest from a man, where would you say is that area of, that's probably most important out the gate for a man to come out and express his level of seriousness about a woman?
Whatever you into, he should be into. Period, point in the blank. This is why I think one of my conversations about Valentine's Day went viral, because I'm like, stay away from me if you're not celebrating Valentine's Day. It's one of my favorite days. Whatever I'm into, you should be into, period. I have dated men that's all into the football season and they want to go camping and be outside. I don't like any of those things. But if you care about somebody, if you into it, I can compromise and be into it. So just generally speaking, if you dating, and I always say, I always date in my lane. So if you one of those guys that are like, I don't do the makeup, I don't do the wigs, I don't do, baby, it's not gonna work. Whatever I'm into, you should be into, in like full support. So I think just like baseline, if you are a traveling nurse, if you are a woman who has a podcast, if you are somebody who is working on something or a project, baseline, whatever you are putting on the table as the things that you are into, aspiration, dreams, he should be in. He should automatically buy into those things.
Got it. Interesting. I want to ask you this too, because I don't think we've ever spoke about this in particular, but the concept of a woman who's naive, because I'm thinking a woman who's getting played, is it just true that most women who get played are just generally more on the naive end of the spectrum of women?
I think we've seen recently that it can get a little tricky. And I think that it's all relative. Sometimes it's about your perspective, like your baseline. Like if you just grew up in a space where you just may not have those extra sensors and just extra, like I grew up in Chicago. Head always on the swivel. So it's like, I could see stuff coming a mile away. So I think it's really about your environment. Everybody has a general baseline for like things that are going to raise their senses. And why I brought that up about somebody that's being secretive, it's not a woman out here that feels played, because that was your initial questions, and they say, I knew everything about this man. You feel played because you in the dark about what's going on. You found out he's married. You found out he's in a relationship. You found out that he wasn't who he said he was, or that he didn't want to go into a relationship, or whatever the case may be. So I think that, when you don't know a lot about a person, that's how you end up feeling like, blindsided for a lot of things. So that's just like general baseline. If you're not able to have genuine conversations with someone to really get to know a lot of things about them, whether that person, again, like you mentioned, men are not going to just pour their hearts out, but you got to know enough information about somebody to get a baseline. So it's not, nobody's out here saying like, oh yeah, like I knew his whole life and I felt played. You felt played because you didn't know who this man was. So that's why I think that that's a baseline. You got to know people before you move forward.
And I want to ask you this too, because when it comes to a woman dating and out the gate, I think this is something that's interesting here too, because I think you have a different perspective on this. How honest should a woman be when she's dating a man about her past? How open and honest should she be about the things that she's been through?
In life or with another partner?
Another partner.
Another partner.
I personally think if a man asks you about your past, he was a great guy, didn't work out.
Yeah.
Because you don't want to give him an additional baseline to play with you. If you don't need to tell that man anything about, oh, he was a liar, he was a cheater, he had all these baby mamas, you don't need to tell him that. You need to give him enough information that he can get to know you. But overall, you need to tell him, this guy was a decent dude. That's it. That's literally all he needs to know, is that he was a decent dude. We're going to move forward. I think when you get into a situation or a relationship, if that relationship in the past is going to help him get to know you more, I think it's worth telling. I think it's worth sharing. If it's not going to add additional layers to get that man to get to know a dynamic of you, then I don't think you should share that with him. For example, I dated a guy, and in my past, I just felt like he was emotionally unavailable. He didn't show enough about, he wasn't invested in me. And so it made me feel unseen. Like it reminded me of growing up with parents that didn't have the capacity to be around. So it's like, hey, every time you tell me you're going to call me back and you don't, it reminds me of walking into my house and no bright eyes jumping up. Like nobody's like, hey, Tisia, you're home. And so like those things are triggering for me. You talk to somebody about that in a mid type of, relationship. But unless it's going to help you get to know me more, you don't need to know about what that man did to me. It literally is null and void.
I think that's great counsel, actually. Because I really don't think it's, now if the woman can communicate maturely like you did and give you just enough information so you, like you said, so you can get to know her better, I think that makes a lot of sense, because otherwise I really don't think a woman can win or really benefits her in that conversation. Because if she says too many things, then now you'll be thinking about, well, why didn't this dude want to continue to be with you, or what's wrong with you type of deal. If she says some other things, now you're thinking about she's naive. It just really doesn't work when she overshares very specific information. But the thing is, most guys are going to want to ask because it's typically an easier way to have a conversation.
And it works the opposite way.
Now, see, I would also say this too. I don't think what you're actually saying is she shouldn't say something based upon whether or not it's going to help him get a better understanding. Because I think what you're actually communicating is you should only communicate whether your past relationship history, if it's going to benefit his perspective on you. I think that's actually what you're saying, correct? Because here's the thing. The reality of it is any information that you give me I get a chance to know you better. Even the ugly stuff. Like if you told me that you were just in a relationship where you were being domestically abused and he was manipulating you and all these different things were going on, I do get to know you better.
Absolutely.
But correct me if I'm wrong, you're saying that that's something that a woman should probably not come out the gate with saying and communicating out the gate if she's telling another guy about her relationship history, correct?
I'm going to give you a toolbox to help you unlock those places in me. If what I'm sharing with you is not going to help you unlock the parts of me, you don't need to know that. And so it's like, yes, getting to know me, getting to know the layers of me, getting to know more of my triggers. But I don't really think that has much to do with the person that I dated. That's why I'm saying you shouldn't really share those things unless it's going to help you. The things that I'm sharing with you is going to give you additional skills for you to navigate me. At the end of the day, the benefit is still on me. If I'm going to share things with you, it's going to help you know how to work this right, like how to get this right, And so that's more so. If I don't share anything that's not going to help you know how to treat me the best, like perform your best.
Because I think the typical response from a woman is not really that. It's usually an oversharing of the bad situation that she's been through. Or it's an oversharing of the crazy stuff the guy did. Not necessarily bad, just like kind of was it unreputable stuff that a guy might do or just weak stuff that a guy might do. So she's either trashing a guy or really giving you, pretty much a sob story about kind of all these things that she kind of went through at once. Yeah. Which I think both of those is just over the top. I think you can give somebody a summation of kind of what the experience was like and then give them some detail of what you're looking for in your next relationship. I think that makes a lot of sense.
No, understood. And do you also feel like men, for the most part, should do the same thing when communicating to ladies about some of the things that they've also been through in the past?
Yes, it works the opposite way. Just recently, talking to a guy, just getting to know him, shared a crazy story of an ex that he dated, and this woman was like cheating. We had the guy calling her phone, blah blah blah. He proposed to that woman afterwards. I never felt the same about that man.
Of course not.
I'm just like, nigga, who are you?
It's
like,
disgusting.
you know what I'm saying? It's like you proposed to that woman
that
after,
massively disrespected you.
That massively disrespected you. To me, it just like, it take your stock down. And that's what I'm telling you about women as well. It's like, why do I want you to know how I embarrass myself? Like, I got shit I'm taking to the grave. It's like, baby, you ain't gonna never know what this man did to me and how I was cooped up in the car sitting outside his house, waiting for that girl to come up out of there because I knew she was in. You're not gonna ever know those things because it's just like, it's not gonna help you. I want to give you a roadmap to learn more about me and perform at your best. If it's not gonna do that, then it's water under the bridge.
Interesting. Before we actually get to, it looks like you got something to say. Before we get to that, what I want to do, guys, I want to let y'all know we're going to actually open up the phone lines because I want to get the people involved in the conversation earlier here while we're communicating. So we're going to drop the link to go about going backstage to join the hotline. All right, because I want y'all to go ahead and come back here and let us know, y'all. Are y'all dealing with somebody that might be, giving you some problems? You think you might be getting played or just got out the situation? I want you to come up here and talk to us about it. So can we go ahead and drop that link as well?
It's up. It's up.
It is up.
Yeah, we good.
So we can go ahead, guys. Y'all can come backstage when click the link, come backstage and chop it up here with us.
So to see, I am trying to get a better understanding of kind of the things that you're sharing, because I think it's important that we, improve the way we go about finding connection. And you mentioned about some of these, would you call them like a standards or expectations that you've been speaking about? Is that different?
I think it's standards, expectations, and just like innate, like that's just who I am. And I always say, like, if a coffee date is for you, fine. I'm not the one like you should never let a man take you there. But like anybody that knows me, I'm a bit extra, baby. Do your big one for me. Don't take me to coffee because it's like you have to put your best foot forward. And that's the only type of energy that I accept. My friends are A1 friends. The people, my mentors, even like my male friends, they're A1 type of people. So anybody that knows me know, like, don't take Tisia on no damn coffee date. She gonna be like, yeah. Okay, so like even let's say the coffee date or really anything else, any of these standards and expectations, you talk about your friends, right? Yeah.
These are people you got a prior relationship with. These are people who have taken some time to get to know you. These are people that probably have a proven track record of supporting you and kind of being there in times of need. So does this same level of standard apply to even the very first times you get to know somebody?
Yeah, I think I always say I always give grace. I'm not a nasty person. I'm not going to be like, coffee, what? No, I'm just going to be like, hey, there's a taco truck down the street from my house. You want to go check that out? I always give people grace. I always am, especially with men in general, I want to make sure that you feel good about the way that I spoke to you, right? And so like, you don't have to blast nobody for, how much they spend or what they didn't do or anything like that. You miss people by doing stuff like that. And so I don't know the reason why you would even be offering me a coffee date. It could be like you don't have much time in your day. You know, you actually enjoy coffee. So like, you know, you want to read a book or take me to the bookstore next door. I don't really know. So I'm going to pitch my proposal to you about what more so I would like to do, and it gives you an opportunity to get to know me and know more about my likes and, you know, dislikes. So no, it's not no diss to the particular coffee. I think it's just a learning moment, like an opportunity to get to know each other better.
Now, just to challenge that a bit, because if the guy, I'm talking about, let's paint whoever your absolute perfect guy was, top to bottom, from his height to his looks, to his occupation, to his character, to his charisma, to his friend groups, to his career, everything. I'm giving you this ideal guy. He invites you to a coffee date. Are you still going to try to offer this proposal that's opposite or something other than what he wants to go about doing with you? Or is it going to be at that point, is that less important where you're going, and you'll be more excited to go because you're going with this guy?
He wouldn't be ideal if that's where he picked.
Wow.
Sorry.
Yeah.
It's just, you know, look, I always say this, like, you know, 35, no children, never been married. Baby, I didn't wait a long time. You wouldn't personally be like, I'm looking for that it, you know, and it doesn't have to be it throughout the whole relationship. You're going to have tough times. You're going to go, you know, I'm not looking for some fairy tale per se, but I just don't think that guy would be like, hey, let's go to coffee. And so like he wouldn't be like ideal to me personally.
See, me, I'm definitely the coffee date type of person. Now, it's varieties of coffee date. You know, maybe we start with tea, coffee, we do something else, right? Or maybe it's a cocktail or something like that. But I think you mentioned something that is very important. You talked about your age and being 35 and kind of what you might be looking for now. And I think that's pretty much been my experience with women around, I would say like the 31 or to 35-year-old mark. They kind of have that same level of energy. Like, hey, you know what? The simple things, like I think you call it, like to mention, like the low budget experience is kind of something I'm not interested in. So is it a age thing because you're looking for something very specific at that time? Or is this applicable to any age or life, you know, I guess, what's the word for it? Life, wherever they're at in their life.
Yeah, I think that the thing is that millennial women, like that's who we, you know, we are, millennial women. And so, you know, we did a lot of running around, a lot of working, a lot of like building businesses and things like that. So I think that social media is showing a more glamorous side of that, but we kind of been that already. Like we're tired. We're looking for helpmates and supervisors, people that just like genuinely are, you know, have our best interests. And I think that we've waited a long time to find our person. And so I think that people are looking for more unique experiences, and that experiences look a lot of different ways for different people. It could be, oh, there's some Russian loose leaf tea place down the street. You want to go and make our own tea? It could be that. It could be, wow, like we had a great conversation and went to a bookstore across the street. It looks different for different people. So again, me personally, that wouldn't be an intriguing date for me, but it looks different ways for different people. I think now the longer that you wait, you are looking for a little wow. You know, because like you probably could have been pregnant and dating somebody a long time ago. So the longer that you wait for like a good situation, I think the more interest you have on it, like it being good. It's like if I waited this long, this better look real good. You know, it better be good for me. So,
you know, it's so crazy because like even when I look at your content, like the short form content. Like I think I told Tyshawn this. It's just I'm actually, you know, lightly dating a young lady, and I literally thought she has to be watching this content. I literally thought that because, and this is the thing,
Why you say that?
Because I'm trying to understand, right? Because I understand that, you know, a woman might be looking for a certain experience, especially if, you know, it's the fourth quarter, so to speak, and she's like, yo, I want somebody that's gonna fit me. I want to make sure I'm not wasting my time, kind of deal. But it does give the general impression that things are kind of rushed, right? So I can give you a very specific example. So go out, date number 2 with a young lady, had a great time. First date, second date, great time, okay? Now this is the thing. I'm a very busy person, okay? So if I take you out on a date on a Saturday and we have a great time, it's probably, you know, don't get me wrong, I'm the please, thank you, and all of this stuff, and a couple of calls here and there. But it's probably going to take me maybe till at least that Tuesday or that Wednesday to even come around to thinking about what's the next thing, the next experience that I want to plan for us. But I think that attitude of, having a certain level of expectation, I think it comes off even in the conversation. So rather, hey, Ron, I haven't heard from you since it's a Wednesday. I haven't heard from you since Monday. Why don't you call me every day? That's kind of the feedback versus, hey, let me try to figure out what you're doing on these days. Let me figure out what's going on in your life so I can get to know you better and see kind of how I can fit in what's happening, right? So it seems to be like because I do understand you got to evaluate after every experience you have with somebody and these interactions, but it's like this level of like rush. It's not urgency, where it's like, this is very important. It's just like rush. Like, I'm in a rush to find out if you like me, if I'm wasting my time, and kind of what you're doing. So do you think that kind of that all goes together? Like, if you set these certain expectations for maybe what the experience should be like, or how generous a person should be, you just getting to know them, do you think that it can have a negative impact on the overall mindset of a woman?
I think everybody needs to relax. Like, so many things will be organic, and I think men feel a lot of pressure just in general. It's like, I gotta do this. If I don't call her doing that, and it's just like the whole blow up of this, relationship space. So I think that everybody needs to relax. But I think, again, like, different things for different people. Some women, I have friends that they're like, look, don't FaceTime me, don't blow up my phone, don't call me, text me or whatever. Me, I need to feel you on me. Do you know how quick I will just generally forget about you? I think I'm more like, what is the impression that you made? So if you went out on a date with me on Saturday and you said that it's Monday and that person or Wednesday, I think you said Wednesday, and you hadn't heard from them since Monday.
No. So give you the sequence. Have a great time Saturday. 5-6 hour great time.
Good night.
The hike, the brunch, the after conversation. You know what I mean? Sunday, had a really great time. Thanks for allowing me to take you out. Monday, light texting. Tuesday, call, but still no invite to the next date, right? And then Wednesday, this is hey, do you like me? Hey, are you serious about me?
Yeah.
Right?
That's kind of quick, I would say. Definitely, that's kind of, that's, I could feel the pressure there, Plan, I think, throughout that week, you probably would just get, like a little insight as to, do you want to see me again? But I think, Wednesday, that's kind of a lot to just feel like, oh, when is the next time that I'm going to see you? Like, do you like me? Yes or no type of thing. I think that is kind of quick. It's
just a consistent experience. And I understand that women can communicate different ways. Like, hey, I want more of your time, or I want to see you more. But and this is very consistent. That's the thing. I can't figure it out. But instead of, hey, I want to spend more time, is, hey, why don't you do this?
I wish we understood each other more, because what we really are saying is like, what men don't understand about women is that you all in DC right now, the ratio, it just went up 11 women to 1 man, right? And so, you may sense a little bit more urgency, but you all get a little bit more time to frolic. Y'all are like, okay, like this girl, like that girl, like maybe I'll try this, maybe I'll try that. I think it's also with timing of, wanting to plan pregnancies and fertility, all that kind of stuff. And so I just wish we had a lot more understanding, because men do feel pressure. And I actually have a lot of empathy, for a man having to be the one to approach, the one to, create this great experience for a woman and all of that. But like, women do have a different, sense of urgency, just because we don't have as many options. And so when we are enjoying ourselves and having a good time, we're kind of like, is this it? Like, do you like me? Do you want to move forward? So I think that's a big part of it. Also, I just wish Black men, particularly and Black women, understood each other a lot more and took more time to invest in that.
It's interesting. I'm actually on the side of the spectrum too, of the very simple dates. And you know what I found just in general? I'm just in general more attracted to a simple woman. Yeah. Like a woman who's not big on name brands, a woman who doesn't necessarily care about, she wants like really great food, but it ain't got to be at the biggest restaurant based on the name and the hype. But see, I guess it's important too. Like, I think your date says a lot about what you value. Like, for example, if I invite a woman on a hike, if I invite a woman on a walk, if I invite a woman on a coffee date and she's like excited about that or wants to go there,
That's dope.
that either says she is super excited about just being with me and being whatever I want to do, like you said, whatever I want to do, she's with, or she is just a simpler woman and the simpler things satisfies her, which would probably mean she's more aligned with my values in general, because that's me. Like, I'm not the dude that really I'm looking at, I know when the new Louis this dropped and this, that, not always. I've never been that kind of guy. So if you're that kind of woman, that's probably not going to necessarily, we ain't going to be aligned in many different ways. So I even think a lot about what your values are and where in some ways it could be standard, but really in other ways it also could just be general preference. If where you want to be in dating just says a lot about what's important to you. And I know dudes as well that they want to be at the hottest spots. They want to be making sure they're getting the best top shelf liquors, because that's just a part of their brand. Like, that's that dude's essence. Like, oh yeah, only the best this, only this and that. But see, me, I'm truly an experienced person. I love a simple woman. I truly value the simple things. And honestly, if a woman actually doesn't, I don't even trip if a woman might not be interested in that, because in my mind, I'm like, already this shows that we are in this way, in many ways, not aligned. So it's really not a big deal to me at all. And I think that's how you should really look at it. In fact, and fellas, I see some fellas jumping backstage there. Come backstage and stay there. Be patient, guys. We're going to get y'all up on here, but go ahead, Ryan.
But does it have to start, like, does it have to be, hey, you know, coffee date for simple women, not a coffee date, these women are not simple? Can it be just, hey, you have a starting point and then can you build to the more, I guess, the more expensive experience? Or
I wonder why both things cannot exist. Like, why are we even categorizing? I personally think in so many ways I'm a simple woman. You know, I can appreciate, you know, things that don't even cost money, right? You know, but I think that it's like either you're like this it girl or you're like this and I just like, I'm such a fluid woman, you know, like I'm a Southern girl. Like, half my family is all of my family, my grandparents are from Mississippi. I can cook, I can clean, I'm non-traditional. Maybe I'll get a nanny if I have kids, I don't know. You know, like, I love nice things, I love to travel. So I just feel like none of these things, it doesn't have to be either or. And I just think like, just like more understanding. And I also think that, you know, a man that is simple can definitely be with that woman who like, likes maybe like nicer things. And I've seen it the other way around. Like, I recently was dating a guy, he spent like $700 on a juicer. So it's like, maybe you're not a Louis Gucci Prada, you know, whatever, but it's like, you like a bike that he had was like, I kid you not, was like a $3,000-$4,000 bike. Right. Because he likes biking. And it's like, we so quick to categorize people. You spend your money on shit too. You know what I'm saying? Like,
that's 100%
there's people
true.
like, he got these headphones and they Beats or whatever. And I'm like, baby, I would never spend that money on that. So everybody has their things, whether it's photography or electronics. And so it's like, I think we're so quick to say like, oh, if you like this, then you're that. Or if you like, you know, it's like everybody really values something. And I think getting to know people genuinely, you'll learn a lot about that person.
Let me actually bring somebody up here so we can get somebody, the family involved in the conversation. Lionel, make sure you pull that down for the echo over here. It looks like we got Misha. Oh, Misha, she fell out right. Misha, come back on here. I seen you in there, Misha. We was going to actually bring you in that joint. But go ahead here. Misha, actually, I want to give her an opportunity to actually come back on stage.
You know, it's just tricky because I think it is a major disconnection in how we communicate and kind of what we understand. And the thing, I think it has a lot to do with expectations. That's the thing. Like, because I do understand a certain standard, but I think when you go into it expectations, a lot of times, and this is the craziest thing. And I don't know, because sometimes people find out I got a show, but it's like you end up having conversations about if somebody's meeting expectation, and it's like, yo, I don't even know you. Yeah. Like, I'm not that concerned about your expectations because this is like in between the first and second date. You know what I mean? And even when people are communicating, you're not even able to develop a real understanding of what they're saying, because people can say things and turn around and do something else. So like all of that has to have time to even understand how somebody's operating. So I do think in between, you really have to ask questions to really get to understand that person. So now maybe, because this is the thing, what I'm communicating is that I find that, this is just from things that other men tell me, and women as well. A lot of times friction is caused about the expectation versus it being friction about a standard. So if you are upset with me because I don't call you every day and instead I'm reaching out every other day, that's not friction that I'm interested in. But I am interested in the friction. Hey, Ryan, you told me you was going to do this and you didn't do it. Now that's friction I'm receptive to. Hey, you know what? That's a conversation that we need to have. So I think it's the focus of the relationship is really based on what other people are doing, what other people are hearing, versus the actual experience and the person that you're getting on the other end.
So what's the deal if she did want to hear from you every day? Do you feel like that's a lot of pressure, or are you just too busy of a person? Like what's that about?
Well, I think that's reasonable if, this is the thing. First off, the likelihood that a woman's going to hear from me every day in the dating phase is is unlikely. Because if the people that I talk to every day are integrated into my life. Now, this is the thing. If this woman is helping me to get better and be better in some way, then of course we're probably well past the 5th, 6th, 7th day, right? So of course I'm gonna talk to her every day, because it's important that I talk to her every day to get where I need to get, because she's integrated into my life. But if I'm just getting to know you, don't get me wrong, it's okay for a woman to want, but to actually put the press on you about the expectation, I think is just unreasonable.
Do you expect that though? Or just curious to know also, when, like, if dating a man out the gate, are you expecting him to communicate with you on a daily basis?
Yeah, because do you like me? Yes or no? Like,
Do
you like me?
So now,
It's like,
now
you
that
don't
gets to my
like me,
point.
then
Wait,
you must hate me then. Do you like me or not?
Every single day. From the
To
time
me,
he
it's
meets
like
you?
you work, you travel, you ate, you didn't hit my line.
Every day?
Yeah.
So
but-
like, so hold on, wait.
See,
I
this is
get
what
your
this,
number.
but this is the exact example I'm referring to. This was the exact situation. It's like, you must don't like me. And I'm like, no, I really like you. In fact, I'm having a great time. But today was a long ass day and I'm very busy. And this is only date number 2.
It's interesting because I have a
wow.
post about this, and it actually talks about attachment styles,
Yeah.
which is, in this whole space. Learning people's love languages, attachment styles, what you really need to know. And so a lot of how people attach and form relationships and bonds with people really is based off, kind of how they grew up and missing pieces in their kind of like household dynamic. And so, for me, it's like, I need to, kind of feel you on me. And it's not in a toxic way where I'm just like, oh my goodness, you don't like me, you don't know. But it's kind of like, okay, noted. Like 2 days went past and you didn't even, okay.
Hold on,
No.
wait.
Now,
Hey,
now,
the chat
listen.
going nuts. We got to
This-
drop a poll on this, by the way.
And see,
We
this
got
is-
to.
Okay, I'm gonna drop that poll. But see, it's crazy to see it, and I understand. That's why I was very curious about your content, because I swear, I'm like, I have to be dating Tisia, because this is exactly what the woman is giving me. She's like, yo, you must don't like me. These things are going on. But this is my question, because it's okay, I think that's very attractive for a woman to really have that level of strong interest and to crave to speak to you every day. I like that, right? But the next thing that usually comes is not let me seek understanding. Is okay, well, if you operating like this, then even though I don't want to operate like that, I'm just going to mirror exactly what you do. Versus, hey, let me investigate a little bit further to see why this person may communicate in this way.
I think it's interesting that you actually know that she wants to talk. I'm a low key kind. I don't say much. So if I'm talking to you and I didn't hear from you for a couple of days, I observe a lot of things. I'm not going to be like, hey, where were you? Why didn't I hear from you? Or whatever the case may be. So I think it's interesting that you said you're newly dating and you already no, she's showing her cards. She got to hold that to her chest. Like, let somebody do what they want to do so you can see what they rather do. I'm going to get to know a lot about you just by, how you moving. I'm not going to say nothing to you if you don't hit me up in a couple of days. I'm like, okay. Noted. And it may tell me more about you. It may not. I get to know a lot more about your schedule, how you move, and things like that. But women do too much talking. You shouldn't even know that about her now. She gotta hold her cards.
It's in the Slack, by the way.
Okay, I'm gonna drop that.
So
now we because this is what's happening.
No,
I like this conversation.
This is definitely what's happening out here in the space. In fact, let me go ahead and bring a lady up here so we can get some context. Misha, why you leave us? Why are you gonna come backstage and run away? What's up with you, Misha?
I didn't know what to say, but I think I got something now.
Okay. Well,
yo,
excellent.
Misha. First off, Misha, what's up?
Hey.
Misha, did you use them cards yet? Or what?
I used them. They're
Excellent. And first of all, Misha, you got them fresh braids in your hair. Shout out to the
Looking
fresh.
beautiful.
Shout out to wait, hold on, wait. That's not the braids, right? I want to call it the right thing. Is it what is it called?
Twist.
The twist.
Yeah, like
The
faux
twist.
locks.
All right, the faux locks is in the head. And for the people that don't know you, can you please give us your age and your location?
Yes. I'm 33 and I'm in Clarksville, Tennessee.
All right, are you calling because you might be having a situation where you're getting played right now? Or you chiming into this conversation?
Well, I'm dating. I met somebody on New Year's Eve, and we've been talking ever since. But I did find out that they were dating other people, and it kind of caught me off guard.
Wait, hold on, wait. So you're dating, he's dating, and you were shocked that he was dating other people?
Well, I was shocked by the magnitude in which he was dating somebody else. I actually went to his apartment, and somebody else was there waiting for him.
Insane.
Oh wow!
Insane.
Hold on, wait. Did you pop?
With the baby.
Did you pop up at his apartment?
No, we had went out, and he gave me the code to go up, and I went up. He said he was gonna run around the corner real quick, and there was a girl with a little baby in there.
Oh my god.
So he willy-nilly giving out his codes.
Wait. Was that his baby?
No, it's not his baby.
I don't know which one's
Yeah,
worse.
another woman with a random baby.
Whose baby
It
is
was like
this?
a two. The baby was like two running around playing, and I was like, "Yeah, there's a girl here with a baby. So who is this?" And
How-
she's like, "Who is she?" And she said they were together. He said they're not. So I was like, "Okay."
Yeah, you got to leave that dude because even for her to
leave that
think
alone.
that they together is a problem.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
Even
wait,
with children.
how long were y'all dating?
Probably about 3 weeks.
Okay, this was and you actually thought this guy was he came off as a really serious prospect prior to you seeing this.
Well, I think I was just hopeful and excited about it because we had a lot of fun together just in a short period of time. But I didn't think there was somebody else who thought they were together in the picture. Not at all, because I was coming over his place and he's been over my place, and it just really caught me off guard.
Did sex ever get involved?
Yes,
Oh man,
it did.
I know how that be.
Do
I
you
know
feel
how
like
that
you
be.
asked enough questions?
No, I don't. I don't
She
think I
ain't
I
had a
don't-
heart
I
in
don't
love deck
think I
then.
Say that
really
all the
wanted to
time.
know, but yeah, we used
Yeah.
the cards, but that didn't really get into how serious he was about wanting something serious.
Yeah, and the sexual, you got to be sexually reserved. It's so crazy because I was a young
Definitely.
savage. You really got to hold it as long as possible until you really get to understand. And honestly, it makes sense to hold it until you dating exclusively. But everybody operates differently, obviously. Because the thing is, when I think something happens like that, I think that you can develop going into your next relationship some of that baggage, unfortunately, because you had this bad experience. So now, when the guy is not, let's say, communicating every day, he must be with his other woman.
Right.
He must be doing exactly the opposite of whatever he tells me he's doing. And that's the impression, because this thing is busters out there who playing women, but it's also some very good men out there that when you bring that energy because you maybe been hurt in the past, it's extremely unattractive. It's really a hassle, I think, for men. And men are not looking for those type of issues. But I mean, let me know what your thoughts on that is.
But I think too, believe it or not, for a woman that overshares, there's a savior complex that some men are. Like, you meet a lot of men love a project, believe it or not.
Really?
A lot of men
yeah.
out here looking to save you.
yeah.
They're like, oh, you went through shit growing up with that last man, or you went through they love to secretly, be your savior and emotionally fix it. And so I think you can get a man that's gonna be like, I don't know, I ain't touching that with a 10-foot pole. And you meet a lot of men. And then the craziest things, I just had this conversation with a friend. We meet them at 35 and they ran through because you met this woman, you dated her, she was a project, she lost her job, she was an emotional wreck, and then you did all this stuff for her, you built her up, you invested in her life. and then we meet you and you like, oh, I don't do that type of stuff no more. I don't be doing that type of stuff no more. And
That's
we
a good
just
point.
like, damn, like you meet a woman that deserves it. You meet a woman that has invested in herself and has built herself up, and now you ran through busted and tired. I meet a lot of, especially men that have been divorced before, a man that has like, you know, the marriages, and these men have been through relationships with women that they just feel like they didn't get the same appreciation and love. They beat down and tired. And then you meet a woman where I'm just like, I'm single, no baggage. I'm like ready. Like I just feel so great about dating. And these men are tired and beat down.
Wow. Misha, let us know, like, what's going on now? I mean, how did that situation end? Did you stop dealing with the dude, or what's happening?
You guys still dating? Good question.
Yeah, we're still dating.
Ma'am.
Why?
Call me. Link in
What?
bio.
Misha-
Call me tomorrow. What?
Misha, listen, we gotta get to understand the mindset. Why are you still dating this guy?
I guess because we weren't together, so it's like we weren't official or anything, so he wasn't doing anything wrong. But it is concerning that she thought that they were together. He's saying that they weren't.
See, Misha,
But wait, did she communicate to you that they were together?
Yes, and there, like when I came in.
Oh my God, Misha.
See, my thing is, Misha, I think is because, you know, maybe some things get mixed up. I get it's got a benefit of the doubt, right? But to me, that's just a very dangerous situation for a woman to be in.
Absolutely.
Like, you don't know what kind of temperament this woman has, and she's and for her to believe it is all that she needs to really go off the deep end and do something crazy. So for this man to kind of, you know, have his residence, a place where you should feel absolutely safe, for him to have this other woman there and to be thinking that, I think that's it's such a compromising position. I personally, if you were my sister, you were my daughter, I personally be like, yo, I think that you cannot trust this dude for anything in any type of situation, because he's susceptible to, you know, potentially have you in a dangerous situation.
Yeah, Misha, I'm gonna be honest. Sometimes the signs are hard to find and they're hard to see, but that one was right in your face.
Yeah.
And the thing about it is, you know, if you skip that one, and I mean, if he was able to me, that's just gross neglect.
Yeah.
And I have no doubt that he's dating. When I meet a woman, I assume she's dating other men. I don't think she's exclusively just for me and she should be talking to nobody else. I'm not that kind of guy. But I still expect some level of respect
Right.
when I'm operating with you and when we dating. And that to me was just grossly inappropriate and disrespectful, and is probably just a taste of some things to come. And you just got to really have I hate to say not to give people grace, because you want to have grace, but damn it. I mean, it was a baby and a woman on the bed that said, that's my man. So the thing about it is,
Yeah.
I mean, the reality of it is, this ain't the time for grace.
Right.
This brother, first of all, bring this brother up, because his mouthpiece got to be cold. I
Yeah.
want to know how he wiggled. If that was my boy and he told me that went down the first, I'd be like, what'd you say?
Well, it really, it's just really your mindset. That's really what it comes down to. I mean, he doesn't really have to say much. If you're willing to accept that, then you just gonna keep getting that type of treatment.
I was just going to say that woman to woman, if you never said a word, what did your actions and what you accepted from him communicate to him? You never get to reverse that. Don't ever forget it. You never get a second opportunity to to have a man treat you differently. Whatever you accepted now. So if you never said a word, you have told this man that you will accept sketchy situations. You will believe what he says, even if he's not telling the truth. You have welcomed third parties into your relationship. You will accept him not being as honest and transparent with you. You don't need to say nothing else. That is exactly the type of woman that you have shown yourself to be to him, whether you are that woman or not, and you never get an opportunity to reverse it.
Yeah, and just general rule, like, I really think it should be no sex until you get a level of commitment, because then it's very easy. Because now, who knows what kind of, you know, stuff you open up to if you still having sex with this guy and you having sex with other people, you know?
Are you holding it down?
Holding it down what?
I mean, you're not.
I'm abstinent.
Oh,
yeah.
Got it.
Misha, look, I appreciate you coming up on
Thank
here
you,
and
yeah.
keeping it real with us. Thank you so much, okay?
Thank you guys.
Much love.
Call me, girl.
Why you asking that? You think I'm just giving people counsel that I don't follow?
No, but it is double
I know,
standards.
I
Yeah,
know,
you know,
yeah.
with men, they'll be like, yeah, you shouldn't be doing it. Or, you know, it don't matter. If you do it on the first date, that don't mean that don't have no bearing on if I'll like you more or whatever. You know, men have different perspectives.
Well, no.
so-
See that those
yeah.
things still. I mean, two things can be true, but I just think. I mean, man, I've just been through some crazy shit. I'm gonna be honest with you, and I've had the things that are just completely outside of my control. Except the only thing that was in my control was having sex or not.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
So I really think it just applicable to everybody, and it's hard.
Yeah.
Because look, me, because the only reason I can imagine she still would deal with the dude because she lonely, she dealing with depression and anxiety like everybody else. You know,
Why you put
she
that on
wants
that
she
girl?
wants some because that's the mindset because we all experience that. The same reason that I would go out here and put myself out here with a woman at a random is because I'm
That
dealing with the
already
same-
disrespected him.
that already it's because those are the reasons. It has to be. That's the mindset.
I mean,
It's-
she said she was hopeful. I think that's a lot like matters of the heart and the mind are two different things. And she said initially she met him on New Year's Eve or something, and she was hopeful. So a lot of times women are just not in like a desperate space, but they do, like you said, lonely, looking for companionship, wanting to build something and have fill that void. So,
you could say
yeah.
it nice, but that's desperation because that is. Can you imagine? Can you think about this? Can you imagine? Tyshawn is some random dude. I'm going to date this woman. I'm at her house, and a dude is in the car talking about that's my woman. How dangerous that is.
Yes,
That is
yeah,
extremely. You can get killed. That's extremely dangerous. So the only reason somebody would go back to that type of person is because they dealing with something internal. That's the only reason.
Absolutely. And it's just so important. She's never going to get to reverse that. She already made her bed. Like he's never going to treat her differently.
Let's actually go ahead and bring. I actually got a brother I want to bring to the stage. He's been back here patiently. I got my brother Mark B coming to the stage. What up with you, Mark? How you living, brother?
I'm pretty good, man. How y'all feeling?
Mark B, what's popping, man?
I'm blessed, Mark. If you can, go ahead and give us your age and your location, brother.
I'm 27. I'm in Jersey right now.
Brother, you look 17.
Hey, listen, that's gonna be a benefit as he ages, though.
Yes.
I know, bro. Where the hell your facial hair at, man?
Man, I'm curvier, man. It comes in later on when I'm like,
We're rooting for
That's
you.
facts. Hey, I know why it's coming in slow. You know, them Caribbean brothers, they against that one thing that grow that facial hair. They ain't with it.
you funny.
Hey, but let me ask you, brother, what you chiming in here for tonight?
Yeah, I was backstage for a little bit and then I left because I'm like, I ain't want to say nothing that goes viral, but I have been through like me being young. I was married. I was married when I was 23.
Oh wow.
And I've been separated for like over a year now and whatnot. So like the whole loneliness things that comes into play and everything like that. And I do want to say for Ryan, you being abstinent, like I haven't seen many men come up here and tell you that they doing it too, but I'm in it too, and I haven't been with anybody else since my ex. And it's definitely hard out here. And then but the thing is like getting right with yourself, getting right with God, and everything like that is gonna actually like push you through it. But I just wanted to chime into the conversation. But I wanted to say nothing that exposed nothing. Or
Hold on, no. Listen.
Yeah.
I want you to come up here and keep it real. Don't worry about going viral. Don't worry about saying anything for clicks. I just want you to say it if it's on your heart. When you first got on here initially, what were the matters on your heart that made you want to get in here in the first place?
So when y'all was talking about the whole dating thing and the whole coffee shops date, right?
Okay.
So for me, when I date, like, cause I did try dating after like 6 months, like I was heartbroken and everything like that. But I'm telling you, like through prayers and worship and stuff like that, I got over it. And it was like only through God that, like, cause people tell me they're like, there's no way you get over that in like less than 2 months. But like with God, anything is possible. So later on, I was like looking for companionship, and I started dating, but it wasn't really dating. I was looking for friendship. And so my first thing is like, let me find a friend, because now because of the whole divorce and separation and everything like that, I'm doing everything possible to make sure that my next choice is not like the last choice I made. And like, to be honest, watching you guys shows and everything like that has given me a lot of tools and everything like that. So I'm really glad you guys are doing this, because like, to be honest, for me, I learned how to be a man from the military, and it's like we're not having these conversations with our parents and these different things. The people who should be teaching us is not teaching us. So it's like I gotta come to YouTube and these different things and learn these things, but it's been helping me. And through that, it's like through a simple date, you know, you can really learn somebody's value, their characteristics, and these different things. When you do like an expensive date or stuff like that, you're distracted. And when you're distracted and you fall in love with things rather than the person, and things start not adding up right later on, you know, you find yourself in a situation where you end up getting divorced. And my whole thing is like, I'm not trying to get divorced again, you know?
I like that energy, man.
Mark, I respect it.
Hey,
brother.
shout out to the brother that's holding it tight.
And I'm gonna tell you, bro. First of all, I understand completely what it, you know, where you're at as far as having to self-educate yourself. I've had to self-educate myself financially. I've had to self-educate myself in many aspects of manhood. I've had to self-educate myself spiritually in many ways, you know. And you know, unfortunately, we're put in this position, you know, because we are a generation of hardly initiated, right? Men and women, no initiation processes, no rites of passage. Formally typically that we came through to give us these curriculums that we need to be successful. But big shout out to you and everybody else that's actively and intentionally educating themselves and equipping themselves, because this process right here is where you get strong and when you get ready. And again, how you prepare yourself to not again face a divorce, because I've never faced one. I've had some hard breakups, but I've never had a divorce. But I tell you, everything we doing now is to prepare myself not to be there. So, brother, I am right along with you. So, big shout out to you, brother.
Facts. And I want to bring some more people up, but I want to share this with y'all because I want to talk to Misha, okay? Because I want Misha to know, Misha, I know where you at, okay? Because I done dealt with some very toxic situations. And I don't think I've ever shared this on the platform before, but...
Wait, you want to let my brother Mark go?
Yeah, let's let Mark go real quick.
All right, blessings to you, brother.
Appreciate you, Mark.
All right, take care.
So this is why I went absent, all right? So, and I was in a very toxic situation. So I was dealing with this young lady. Oh my God. I was lusting after this young lady. Beautiful. Everything about this woman was beautiful. Having a great time, right? And she would just do things that were very exciting to me. The toxicity was exciting to me because you just never knew what this woman was gonna do, right? So I'm volunteering for this stuff. Dealing with her for a couple months, you know, we having raw sex, we going there, right? This is the only woman I'm dealing with, okay? And it ended up happening where she just kept doing this very toxic, disrespectful things, okay? The way she would say certain things, she would, you know, hang up in my face, you know. And then the thing is, she was just so toxic. Like, we would go out, have a great time. The next day, she's like, I never want to talk to you again. You play on my emotions, hang up in my face, just doing all kind of crazy stuff. But for some reason, I was just so attracted to this nonsense, right? So kept dealing with this woman, and after about 2 months, it was just so much for me that I'm like, yo, I'm done with the situation, okay? A month later, okay, and I'm super single, okay? I got single energy. I'm flirting with everybody, right? It's early last year. A month later, ran into her because I'm real toxic. Because not only did I deal with the chick for 2 months, but she actually lived in my building. Super toxic, making all the player mistakes, okay? Ran into her, having a conversation. I'm really connected with this chick. As soon as I see her, I'm aroused. It's like I see her driving by and I'm like, I knew it's like I started having flashes of what we was finna do in the next 10 minutes, okay?
Slayer.
Go to the spot, raw sex again, okay? This is everything, I'm doing everything wrong in this situation.
He's very specific about his raw sex, y'all. It's crazy.
Because it's bad. Because it's bad. Because look, you out there doing it. We know what y'all doing, okay? Y'all not using condoms, right? So I don't want to put that on y'all, but listen. So what ended up happening was at that same week, because I told myself I was done with this woman, the same week, I happened to have another young lady from my past, okay, that had an urgent situation and had already agreed that she could stay a night at my spot. This young lady had a sexual relationship in the past, okay? It's like 3 years prior or something like that.
Raw sex?
No.
Okay,
no.
Not raw sex.
But see the raw, because I always use protection. With this woman, it was something about this woman that I would just, pretty much I was very sacrificial, doing anything, right? So what ended up happening was I had agreed already that the young lady can come to my spot, okay? So I had sexual relationships with the girl on Wednesday, random. The next day I talked to her, hey, I really can't do this. I can't get back involved with you. She's super toxic, hang up in my face, all the cycle over and over. Okay. Now that Friday, the young lady comes in town. I'm not home because I'm doing something. I can't remember what we had going on, but I wasn't home. So she actually stayed at my house. It was like a Thursday night, and then going into the morning, I'm also not home. But I came to stop by the house. That girl that was at my house, she's supposed to be leaving. Just let her hold my spot. Okay. She asks. She's like, hey, Ryan, I don't know what to do. I'm waiting for my auntie. Something happened. I'm going to her house later, but I want to go to the pool. Do y'all got a pool? I'm like, yeah, but I'm going to be gone all day. I don't know how you're going to get there. She's like, yo, let me hold your key fob. Again, let this lady hold my key fob, right? This is a whole different woman, okay? Work all day. I come home. I'm expecting this young lady to leave. Tyshawn drops me off at my house, and as I'm getting out the car, I text the girl. I'm like, hey, just got to my spot. Where are you at? Because I need my key to get my fob to get in the building. And she's like, hey, she texts me, hey, I'm with your girlfriend right now. And I'm like, I looked at the text. Damn. And I'm like, I don't really know what she's referring to. But like I said, I have very single energy. So I'm like, it could be the security lady. It could be the lady that work at the front desk. I mean, I'm flirting with everybody. So somebody around the building knows me, right? So I'm thinking she may have met somebody. So I'm like, hey, look, I don't know what you got going on. Just bring my key. And she texts me back. She says, hey, I didn't tell her that we've been involved in the past, and I'm bringing your key. I still not understanding what's going on. The elevator buzzes. How about both of these women get off the elevator in front of my apartment complex? Both of them. Super toxic situation. Out in the hallway, it's going down. Like they chummy. First they chummy, they get off the elevator. They all best friends. The alcohol. I have no idea how these women met each other, and they actually trying to get in my place, right? So you can imagine. Of course, long story short, it goes crazy in the hallway. My neighbors are coming out. One girl I kicked off my floor back to her floor. That's the girl that lives in my building. And the other young lady that's staying with me, I had to kick her out because it's complete disrespect for her bringing some random person to my door, right? And I remember calling Tyshawn, and I'm like, yo, this crazy shit happened. I'm telling him the story. He's like, bro, why are you dealing with this shit? He's like giving me counsel. I'm like, and I'm in
no, at first I was like, wait, did you let them both in? Like,
no, that's what he said.
Like,
okay, first he said.
I thought it was about to go somewhere totally different.
He's like, yeah. He's like, were they trying to have a threesome? I'm like, bro. And I'm pissed. I'm pissed because I just got cussed out by two women going nuts on me on my own hallway while one of them is holding my key hostage. So this is nuts. And long story short, I'm like, yo, I'm never dealing with this woman. I'm kicking both of them out. I'm not dealing with women. Like it's crazy at this point. A month later, again, even though this woman completely disrespected me, disrespected my space, because I was lonely, because I was going through some things emotionally, because I was so deep into, satisfying my cravings for the flesh, I actually started dealing with this woman again. Okay? Damn. And not only did I start dealing with the woman again, I'm having raw sex with this woman. Okay?
Slayer.
First time back. So it was another Wednesday. I have raw sex with this woman. The next day, again, toxic energy. I never want to talk to you again. Hang up in your face, right? Saturday, we working. Okay? We working. It's late. It's like 11 o'clock. She calls me. She's like, yo, where she's hood ass chick. Hood as hell. New Orleans, extra hood. She's cussing me out. Where you at? You told me you wasn't dealing with nobody. And I'm at the coffee shop at 11 o'clock. Me and Tyshawn, we literally working on the show. And I got her on loudspeaker because I didn't know why she was calling this. So Tyshawn is looking like, yo, who the hell is that? And I'm like, yo, what's going on? I'm not dealing with no women. I'm like defending myself. Like, hey, listen, I know we just kind of start dealing with you. I'm only dealing with you, right? She just goes cussing me out, and she accuses me of burning her, right? She actually, in loudspeaker, so I had to take
burning,
her.
By the way, translation, giving her an STD.
She's like, yo, Ryan, you fucking burnt me.
Slayer.
And she's going in. And I'm like, how is this possible? I've been tested. I only been dealing with you. I only had, even for that entire 4-month span, I only dealt with this woman, right? And she's just very adamant. You did this and all of this stuff, right? So I'm like, okay, well, I just kind of gave in. And I'm like, okay, well, I'm sorry. I don't know how I did this or what's the situation. I'm like, what do we got? Right? I'm like, so now I'm like, shit, is it curable? That's what I'm thinking, right?
Yeah.
So she's like, you got this, trick or something like that, like trichomoniasis or something like that. She's sending me screenshots of what it is.
First of all, and I'm like, what the hell is a trick?
He's there. Listen to the whole thing. And Tyshawn could tell you, I've never, ever experienced nothing like this before. I've never been burned, nothing, no scares, nothing like that. So I'm like super distraught, and I'm like, yo, I got to go home. And she's just going in on me. And she's sending me all these screenshots about how you can get and all this stuff. So I'm like, okay, listen, I'm sorry I put you in this situation. I don't know how it go. How much was the test? All of these things. And I'm asking her, how do you even know? Like, we just did it. Like, how do you even know that you burned? She's like, yo, I went to the doctor on Tuesday because this was going on. So now I'm like, I just had sex with this woman on a Wednesday, but she just went to the doctor on Tuesday because she thought she had something. You feel what I'm saying? This is how deep involved and stuck I was in what was going on internally. This is me having no self-worth dealing with this woman, right? So I'm like, okay, I accepted it. I sent her some money for the test and everything. Completely, I'm now thinking I have this STD, okay? I'm making this list of women that I've done it with because you can have it and not be a spreader. So now I'm practicing on a Sunday because I can't get tested till Monday.
This man said a spreader.
So, right, a spreader. Well, I don't know what you call it.
Are you a spreader?
So listen, on the Sunday, right? I'm like literally got this list of women I've dealt with. I'm practicing the conversations I'm about to have with these women because I'm assuming I must have burned all these chicks, right? And I'm calling people, a couple of guys that I trust to talk about it. And the counsel was like, yo, you need to chill. Just don't do nothing until you get tested, okay? Because I'm ready. I'm ready to come clean, be a noble man, be honest about the situation. I get past this, right? Go get tested on a Monday. Now, it's an urgent situation, so I got to pay for urgent care, okay? So the test ended up coming out to like $1,000, which is crazy. You got to pay $250 for the little situation. Then you get the test. You pay the lab. It's $1,000. So I'm out $300 on this woman. I'm out $1,000 now taking the test. And I'm sweating. I cannot sleep. I'm calling the girl. She refuses to talk to me, right? So I'm really going crazy because she won't talk to me. So I left a message on her phone that morning like, hey, look, I know you're very upset about this. I apologize. But I'm going to get tested today. I'm going to let you know how everything goes once I get the results, right? And I asked her, I said, can you ask your doctor these series of questions? Because I came up with some questions that I thought that I didn't get the answer to. Go to the doctor, get tested, get a call from the girl that night. She's like, hey, Ryan, we need to talk. I said, hey, listen, no. I went and got tested. I should have told you when I got tested. Nothing to talk about. I take full responsibility, all this stuff. She says, no. I got something to talk to you about. I'm like, what's the situation? She says, Ryan, you don't got nothing. I'm like, what? She's like, yeah. See, what happened was I had this smell going on. I thought I had something. I went to the doctor. Doctor tells me he's going to send me some medication if I need anything. I go, I look up the medication, and it's used for this STD. She calls the doctor. The doctor says, yes, it is used for that STD, but it's also used if you have imbalanced pH.
Yep.
Damn.
After that, I'm like, yo, I am abstinent. Because what I realized, I was so controlled by this woman's the sex. That's all it was. It was sex. She's disrespecting me, but I'm very attracted to it. She's doing all this toxic stuff because it was so unpredictable. And all of this was fun to me. It was fun. Oh man, she's so crazy. She might do this. Oh, she's so crazy. She might show up and this pop off. We might do it anywhere, So basically, I tell that long story is because even us men, so when I talk about abstinence, when I talk about, the importance of not, getting yourself out of that dark place internally so you can actually make good decisions and not go back to those toxic relationships, it's because this is something that I have actually experienced. And this is like not a long time ago. This is at 34 years old. I got wrapped up in this woman, right? I'm talking about completely wrapped up. And I remember telling Tyshawn about my decision to go abstinence and all the things that I was going to work on because I really thought that this shit was fun. I really thought that, right? And because everybody is in these situations for different reasons. And he was like, yeah, you can't do that because you never know. This might happen, that might happen. He was like, and I'm like, yeah, you know what? We do got this going on. We do got that going on. It's that's why it's my boy. He was like, bro, a woman will do some fucked up shit to you for less. It don't have nothing to do with how much money you making, what your following is. It could be she woke up on the wrong side of the bed and like, you know what? I won't have his baby.
Especially
You know what?
if she's toxic as hell.
Especially if she's toxic.
But guys, just quick round of applause for Ryan not being burnt. All right, so quick round of applause.
Still have never been burnt, fortunately. But
Healthy
that was
genitals.
a scary situation.
Healthy genitals.
That was a very scary situation for me, and it really had me like for months after that. It had me in this like place of like paranoia of how I'm dealing with women. It was even when I would like I still have like PTSD from that situation. So it's certain things that a woman might do now that I'm like, oh, she might be just like this crazy woman. You know what I mean? And she just might be trying to keep it spicy. You know, so and that's a lot for me to share, by the way, guys, about that crazy situation.
Ultra vulnerable right there.
Ultra vulnerable. But it's 4 months of this toxicity. So when I hear about Misha, for example, having this situation that is clearly the utmost disrespect, clearly carelessness and careless disregard for her life and kind of her feelings, emotions, everything, it really made me think about that. It's like, yo, like we can all get into that place where we will literally accept anything.
Healthy genitals. Round of applause one more time for Ryan's healthy genitals.
Oh, test negative, yeah. But I'm done.
What I want to do is we got some people that have been patiently waiting back here. Let's go ahead and bring my sister up. It looks like my sister Bungalow or Bungalow. Did I say that right, sweetheart?
It's Bungalow.
Bungalow. What's up with your sister?
Hi, I'm doing well. How are you?
Look, you looking good. You got like a full face of makeup on. You was ready to get on the show tonight?
No, actually, I just got offered not too long ago. And I was getting a little comfortable.
Listen.
I just like, okay, y'all are streaming. And I came on a certain part, and I was like, wow, this is really interesting because I have an opinion on this. So
Now let's hear the opinion. Before you give us the opinion, tell us your age and your location, and then get into your opinion.
yes, so I'm 30 years old, and I'm in Richmond, Virginia.
VA, what part of the conversation? You've been back here for a minute. What part of the conversation you give us an opinion on?
So with the lovely guest, when she was talking about like her expectation of someone calling her every day.
Oh my God! Tell us what's your thoughts on that.
So I don't disagree. I think everyone has their own opinions. I think it's subjective, right? So for me, it's interesting because as a woman, I'm an introvert, and I was in a relationship with someone who was really upset with me because I wasn't the type of person who could talk to them every single day. And I was really transparent because I knew that this had come up in friendships and different situations. And I would tell people like, hey, I'm an introvert. You know, I have certain times where I'm like certain days that I dedicate for myself where I just need to be by myself. Right. And I remember something came up one day and I was on the phone with my partner, my ex. And he was like, I have to do something, but I'm gonna call you right back. And I said, oh, you know what? It's okay. We had been on the phone for about 2 hours, right? And I was like, it's okay. Go ahead and get some rest. I'm gonna go ahead and do my thing. Let's talk, maybe the next 2 days or so, right? This triggered an argument that was really bad. And then he just went off and he was like, like, you don't want to talk every day. Like, do you really like me? And then it spiraled off into like, I guess at that point I hadn't posted any pictures of him on social media. He never even brought this up, but it spiraled into that. You're not posting pictures of me. Like, are you dating somebody else? And I was just like, so hurt. Even when I'm talking about it now, it hurts my feelings because I really love that person. I still do love that person. And so when I was hearing you say that, I'm like, this is interesting because I was with that person for a few years. And so for me, if I'm just meeting somebody, the idea that I would talk to them every single day is, to me, like it's unrealistic for me, right? I'm busy, for one. And for two, I like the idea of being able to miss somebody. And I think the distance is healthy. And so what I wanted to also say was that I know a lot of times we talk about love languages, meaning like we talk about it in the context of like, how do I want to receive love? But I think a lot of times we neglect the idea of like what's your love language in terms of how you show up and how you express love to somebody? Even if I don't recognize it, I want to know what your default setting is for how you show up and how you show love. For example, for me, growing up, cooking for somebody was how I showed love. So if I come back in the kitchen and you threw my pancakes in the trash, and you could be so nice about it and say, look, I'm just not hungry, or whatever it is. For me, I might have an emotional response because I'm like, you just threw my love away. Whereas somebody else, they could think it's not that big of a deal. Like for me liking somebody is not predicated upon, it's not, the basis of my love is not the frequency of how much time we spend together. But I can understand if you like quality time or you want more frequency, but at some point I have to protect my own space to say, well, this is what I need to be okay. I need a day where I'm not talking to anybody so that I can recharge. And so to wrap it up, because I know I'm talking a lot, is that I think when you said, what made me want to call in is when you said, wait for somebody to show you what they want to do. Like you said, wait for somebody to show you what they want to do so that you can see what they'd rather do.
Let
And
people
so
do
for
what
me,
they
I
want to
think
do.
I want to give you an alternative perspective of maybe when you're doing that, it could turn unhealthy because you're almost assuming that because they're not doing this thing, that you're tallying against them something that they're not even aware as a requirement. And to them, they may have a default setting of, that's not how I show up to show that I like somebody. And so I've been in situations where I've assumed those things. So I'm not trying to attack you. It's been in other ways, not in that particular aspect. And I've said, like, for instance, I'll tell somebody, like, hey, if they're texting me a lot throughout the day, I'll say, hey, I really want to get to know you, but I have trouble texting throughout the day. Um, let's have a phone conversation one of these days this week. And somebody will say, oh, okay, that's great. That works for me. I'll go ahead and pick up the phone and do it. And boom, it happens. I think sometimes we can just communicate and tell somebody, like, hey, this is how I receive love or interest.
So Bunga, let me actually do this here because we actually dropped the poll on this. And first of all, thank you so much for your input on that one. Thank you for calling. I'm gonna make sure we go ahead and get your perspective on that one as well. But you have an absolute blessed day, okay, sweetheart?
Yes, thank you.
And on that note, I'm gonna read that poll.
Yes, read the poll and close that one out.
Should a man communicate to a woman every day when they initially start dating? And we got 626 votes. Incredible. 55% of people say yes, of course.
That's a shocker to me.
Wow, every day.
Every single day and it says from the first time. And this is assuming from the first time you meet somebody.
Yeah. I mean, I like that energy. I just don't like when it comes with like
Pressure.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. First of all, I think just initially what she said is so important because as she mentioned that just because I don't reach out to you every day, and I think you kind of spoke about this, doesn't mean that I'm like not that interested. I actually could like you a lot, but I always say do what you could do. I personally am the type of person that needs that, and to her point, it's actually not rooted in anything healthy, but I've done my fucking work already. Like I've done my work, and I know that it's not rooted in anything healthy, but it's like it's not even something that I can overcome. If I don't hear from you, like I need to feel your presence on me and in my life. If I don't hear from you, I'm kind of like, okay. And again, I don't ditch you to the curb, but I do kind of feel the absence. And that comes from deep-rooted things about how I actually, attach to people. And so I think, again, when you meet somebody who wants to go to, like, call them to the carpet on that, they will. I don't bend on mine because I know that there's a man that's going to be nothing to him to say like, hey, I'll text you. Yeah, I'll call you. Or he want to call me. This not even a request. He want to talk to me, So I think that, finding people that are in that space, there are going to be men for her that's just like, yeah, okay, yeah, get off the phone. I'll do me, you do you. We'll reconvene tomorrow. And that could be, her person. So I think just compromise, understanding each other, and learning how each other receive and give love is very, very important. So she made a lot of valid points,
Yeah, look, let's keep getting initiates up to the stage. This episode is for y'all here today. We actually got Rebecca backstage here. I'm gonna let Rebecca come up here. What up, girl? How you doing, Rebecca?
Hi, I'm good. How are you?
I'm blessed.
What's up,
I'm
Rebecca?
blessed. I'm blessed. Look, the Initia's got the look. They got the faux locks in. That's like the style right now.
Popping.
I ain't mad. I ain't mad. I like it. Go ahead. Go ahead. Give me your age and your location.
I am 20 and I am from the suburbs of Chicago.
You 20 years old.
Delano, you heard that?
Yo, Lalo back there. You know what I'm saying? That boy trying to tell you know what I'm saying.
Hey, that smile going crazy, Lano.
Man, I love seeing my young ones on here getting this game because this is a mature conversation we having. So if you could sit here and hang in this conversation, I already know your mindset is elevated. But what's up, sister? What you got for us?
So, a little bit of a situation. Like a few weeks back, I had met a guy at this party at this college my friend goes to. I've been friends with this guy since like maybe like elementary school, like middle school. So it was just a mutual friend that I met at the party. And you know, we were like playing cup pong, like hitting it off, like it was cool. And we talked a little bit about like going thrifting because he said he likes to go thrifting, and you know, each other compliments like we look good too. Like so, it was. We exchanged and stuff, and you know, we were talking. He ended up like sliding into my story after some like a little bit of time, and like you know, he kept continuing the conversation. So I was thinking like, okay, like maybe like you know, he wants to like talk to me or something. And this is kind of like why I kind of decided to join because the whole thing about like talking every day, I feel like when somebody does like you, they do want to talk to you every day. So that's why, you know, this guy, you know, we were talking every single day. So I was kind of like, okay, maybe like he likes me or something. So anyways, we ended up going thrifting. And, you know, it was fun. We were just talking, laughing the whole time. And there was one thing I had asked my friend since he was friends with this guy, you know, I'm like, what's the tea on him? And he told me that like the guy just kind of got out of a relationship. So I was already kind of like on edge a little bit, like, I don't know. So I'm gonna just like be careful and, you know, I'm gonna just let him have some space. We can, you know, be friends, just get to know each other for some time. And so, yeah, so we went thrifting and the last store that we went to, we were like in my car and he was connected to my Bluetooth and somebody like kept calling him and like my Bluetooth, like when somebody calls you, it starts saying the number.
Wow.
And so it rings a few times and I'm like, are you going to answer that? And he's like, nah. And so I was just like, okay, like I didn't really say anything. Then we end up going to dinner. He was like talking to his family on the phone and then he looks at his phone. He's like, somebody keeps calling me. And like in my head, I'm already like, okay, like I know it's his ex. Like I already kind of knew it was his ex already. Like I kind of put the pieces together already. And I was like texting telling him this. And you know, we just ended up like chilling for the rest of the day and then he went back home. And I called my friend right away to tell him everything that happened. And the next day he goes up to my friend and he's like, oh, like I gotta tell you something about your friend. Cause I ended up texting him about it. I was like, you know, I noticed somebody kept calling you and you know, you didn't really want to answer. Like, do you have a girlfriend or something? Even though I already knew, like, he doesn't, but I just kind of wanted to see what he was going to say. Yeah. And so, yeah. So because of that, he had said like, oh, like, you know, I just got a relationship. Like, I'm not really ready for a relationship right now. Cause I had asked him like, you know, just like, let me know where we stand. And so I guess he took that as like me saying like, oh, like I want to be in a relationship or something. But like, that wasn't really what I meant. So yeah, so he ended up talking to my friend about it.
You just like, nah, is this a date or not?
Right. So I don't know. When he talked to my friend, he kind of like, I feel like he kind of spun the situation. Like he was saying like, oh, like it's the first link. Like she's trying to act like I'm like, she's trying to jump into a relationship like right away. And I was just like, huh? Because I had my friend actually record the whole entire conversation because I wanted to see what he was going to say.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So I don't know. It kind of was very off-putting to me that like he kind of spinned it that way. And I just don't know like what's the proper way for me to like address that and not have that person like take it that way. Cause like that wasn't really, I was just trying to see kind of where his head was at with it, I guess.
First of all, this sounds like a story that like my little sister would.
Oh my God, so many things. Like the recording the conversation, you going to his best friend. I mean, it's his friend. Like it was kind of
Some
some
college,
some young college toxic.
College toxic. Like light toxic,
right?
Toxic zero. Right. So here's the reality of the situation. How long y'all been dating?
I mean, we weren't even like dating. We were just kind of talking. So I was just trying to.
Oh, Jesus. Listen, all right, look. How long was that happening? How long?
It's like one day. It just sounded like one day.
Okay.
It was one time that we went out, and it was maybe like 3 weeks that we had like known each other. I would say.
Okay, and just in general, where are you in life right now? Are you open to seriously bringing somebody in your life long term, or are you just in a place where you just want to have some fun right now?
Definitely. Like I've always been the kind of person who's like serious. Like I'm in nursing school. I graduate nursing school in like 3 months, literally. So I have a lot of like big things. Like I feel like I have my life set. So like kind of not that I'm like looking or seeking for it like actively, but that is like the one thing I'm kind of like missing in my life. Like I have everything kind of figured out, and it would be nice to have somebody like by my side, I guess.
Yeah. Well, one thing I know is whenever you're dating somebody that's freshly out of a relationship, that residue is all over them. And obviously you can see that residue is clearly still all over him. He hasn't even detoxed that out of, his situation emotionally. It's emotionally not out of the other young lady he's dealing with. And you just got to understand that if you take him on at this point that he's in, this is a very risky place to deal with somebody, because you are potentially now the woman that is in this new chapter. Because right after a man gets out of a relationship, he kind of got to get his groove back. He kind of got to get his rhythm back, like everybody else too, right? He may not be really ready to get into something very serious, especially this is a young brother as well. How old is his brother?
He's 20, the same age as me.
This is a 20-year-old brother. The likelihood that right out of a relationship that sound like it didn't end well, by the way, she's blowing up his phone. The likelihood he wants to get into something absolutely serious is kind of low. Right. You really need to have some serious conversation with him, like not talking to his best friend and trying to talk around what he wants, getting information through the grapevine. You just got to have a straight up conversation with this dude.
On the date, hey man, is it typical for somebody to be blowing your damn phone up like this while you out with somebody?
And like where do you guys stand? Do you still have emotions for her? Like, and make sure you, with guys too in particular, because one thing women can do is you guys can create a very interrogative environment when asking questions, and it put guys on a defense, and they either stonewall and don't say anything, or they just say what they believe you want to hear. Create a safe environment. Like, position yourself as the homie, as the friend. Like, make it harmless, and try to get this guy to just open up to really see where he stands, because the reality of it is, when he tells you what the situation is, you might find out this dude is literally have no intentions of having no long-term relationship. He likes you. He thinks you're pretty. And he want to go out with you and be around you. So there's just so much that's undiscovered right now. But what I would say just in general, dealing with a guy in this place, fresh out of a relationship, that's just not a good spot to be dealing with a dude when they fresh out of relationship. Still, it's nasty. Still got this emotional woman all calling on there, and he's probably still emotionally involved as well. This is just a risky place in general to be dealing with a guy. But I mean, what's your thoughts on that as well?
Always believe what a man says. So I don't care if y'all going thrifting. I don't care if y'all got matching pajamas on a Christmas card. He said, and you heard a little bit of it in the conversation with the friend, she just trying to jump in a relationship. I don't know if I'm ready. Believe exactly what a man will do, will frolic with you in the streets and literally have no intention. So it sounds like that's just something that he was a little amped up about, and kind of, that's not something that he really wants to do in terms of the relationship thing. So whatever you do, do not forget what he says. I know people always say, it's all about action, No, believe what that man says. So, he definitely doesn't want, anything long term. So always keep that in your, in your pocket.
I think that's great counsel. And, you do have to address, like, you have to teach yourself to address undesirable behaviors. So even if you would have just waited to the end of the date, said something like, hey, you know what, I had a really great time with you, but I got to be honest with you, I think when your phone was kind of blowing up, I was a little worried about that. You know, is there, you know, what's the situation? So it's okay to have these conversations. And when you do, you'll find out a lot about that person, about how they react. You know, does he, you know, hop out in hives and cold sweats and start stuttering? Or is he just like, yo, you know, let me tell you exactly what the situation is, and I'm actually working on completing and leaving this in the past. So going to the homie whose loyalties is all mixed up, you know what I mean? It's not gonna go good. And then men talk a lot of stuff with other men too, so you can't even take full 100% of what he said to the homie. You know what I mean? Yeah, man. You know, she all want to be with me already. You know, it's like it's just locker room talk. So just make sure you actually go straight to the source and speak to the person and find more information about the person that you actually interested
Rebecca,
in.
thank you so much for coming up on here and sharing with us, sister. Matter of fact, I want to know how this progresses. Can you send us the progression to info@hardlyinitiated.com?
Yes, I can.
Please do so, love. All right, you have a blessed day, okay?
You too. Thank you.
Yeah.
Shout out to all the new members. Man, ladies and gentlemen, we all got issues.
We do.
We got issues.
Do we got any super guys? By the way, however your comments are, you want them read on the show, send your super chats in so we can read your thoughts on the show. And I actually got somebody anonymous I want to get to right after we go about getting to these.
I love this. Shout out to Nordy H for dropping the bottle. Shout out to her for dropping the Hardly Initiated membership. Shout out to Mia Minion, also one of my favorites, dropping the Hardly Initiated membership. And shout out to all of the new members that are actually joining us this evening. Shout out to Ikene for sending over the super chat. You will be 65 and still picking. Delusional. I think a kid, that's for anything that was talked about tonight. Right. Shout out to Lady K's Kitchen. Too much expectation leads to disappointment. Just allow the dating process to grow into a friendship, then blossom into a relationship. Okay. Shout out to VJ. VJ, listen, I love you. Every time I hear from VJ, I just feel a little bit more blessed than how I felt when I actually came in. So shout out to VJ. Shout out to Dark's 80s man. I'm him, bro. I'm over it. Yes, that is a soul tie, because it's a soul tie. I still think about that girl for real. That's why you got to work it all the way out. Go fully abstinent. Fully abstinent. Shout out to Darnell, says, Rebecca, you can have all my time. Oh, wow. That's a little thirsty, Darnell. But I like that energy. I like that energy.
Thirsty. Bring back the men who willing to jump across the table, man. Everybody too cool. He said, Rebecca, you can have all my time. I love that kind of energy. We gotta bring them
You
kind
say
of men
that.
back.
You say that.
Right.
Bring back those kind of guys.
That's it.
That's everybody.
That's
hey,
it.
Lano, go ahead, turn it back down. I got somebody anonymous coming to the stage right now. And y'all know, for my anonymous people, it's always kind of intense. All right, as long as they not a troll, we're going to see what this is about. Anonymous caller, can you hear us? You unmute, anonymous caller. Please unmute yourself, anonymous caller. Oh, man.
These anonymous calls be kind of having me on edge, especially when we talk about dating. I'm like, I don't know if it's one of them things I used to mess with back in the day. You know what I'm saying? Right. I don't know. We should take anonymous calls right now.
Nah, anonymous caller is not that. They had cold feet. They had cold feet, and that's how it is. You never know what the anonymous is gonna be about, because you know people really be going through some stuff, y'all. And for my people who watch the show, y'all know what I'm talking about, because we've had anonymous callers. We had somebody who was having a fling in the church call up. It gets kind of crazy out here, but everybody need a little bit of help. But y'all go ahead, guys. Look, we about to close this thing down, y'all. We're not about to be here all night long. I'm going to go ahead and take the last cohort of super chats and the last cohort of calls. We went ahead and put the link in here for all of you guys that just got in here now. Please go ahead and hit the like button so we can continue to spread this amazing message. We got my girl in here all the way from DC, y'all. She's in the building in here today with us. So we are, and look, I'm really enjoying this conversation. And Anonymous just came back in here, so we're gonna see.
The people love dating.
We're gonna see if this works. Anonymous caller, can you hear my voice?
Yeah, can you hear me?
I can hear your voice now, anonymous caller. And I'm gonna respect you being anonymous. I want to make sure this is not a troll call. You got a serious issue.
Yes, I have a serious ongoing issue. And I've been meaning to call in on so many of y'all shows, and I'm like, I'm calling in today because I need help.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. So break it down to us. What's the situation?
Okay, so first off, I started dating last year. I was the one who I called in several months ago. I had lost my daughter to suicide.
I
And
remember
Oh,
that.
yeah,
I
wow.
remember
yeah.
that.
So
Yeah.
y'all know who I am.
I do. I
We
do. I
do.
do.
Right. Okay. So shortly after that, I started dating and wasn't really looking for anything serious because, I was still grieving my daughter, but I was needing something to help make me feel happy, something to distract me from the pain of losing my daughter. So anyway, I started dating this young cat. I knew it wasn't nothing, but he was very intentional. He called me every day. I mean, we spent a lot of time. It was like we go together, but we don't. And so I was like, okay, this isn't going anywhere. I don't want to get my feelings wrapped up, so I'm gonna end it and just be solo. I then shortly after that, literally a month later, meets this other guy who ends up becoming a narcissist. Basically, I say that to say I got wrapped up in it. Again, he was very intentional, calling me every day, texting me 50,000 times a day, spending a lot of time with me. I'm in the process of moving. He basically says, move with me. I'm going to take care of you. Long story short, I'm going to make all your dreams come true. All the men that wasn't nothing, I'm going to be that guy. I ended up basically losing everything. Had to start from scratch. I got rid of all my furniture and stuff to move in with him. Things got abusive really fast. Like within a month, things started getting really abusive. So I'm like, I'm out of here. I'm not about to deal with this. So I leave back on my own. And then I'm like, I'm taking a break. I'm not dating anymore. I need to get this guy out my system before I start over. So now fast forward, I then get on the dating app because I'm not meeting anybody. I don't really go out like that. I meet this one guy, probably, and I'm 43, by the way.
Okay.
So usually guys think I'm in my late 30s. So anyway, I meet this guy. He's late 30s. We start dating, and he's like, "Oh, I really am into you. I really like you." Again, we're talking every day, texting every day, on the phone, FaceTime, all of that. Um, but anytime he takes me out, he rarely would want to take me out. When we would go out, he only wanted to have drinks. We had a conversation about it. It just wasn't. We weren't aligned, so I ended it. Um, Recently I just went out. Now this just happened. I just went out probably last weekend. It was my friend's birthday. We're out at some club type thing, and this older guy approaches me, older than what I'm used to dating. He's 47. He's like, you're so pretty. I really want to take you out. This is like while we're there. I want to take you out. We exchange numbers. Calls me probably 2 days later. We start talking for 2 days in a row. Next day he calls me, I'm busy working. I call him back later that afternoon. I text him, say, hey, I was just busy working, give me a call, talk to you later. I don't hear from him until literally this afternoon. He finally texts me and says, hey, I'm sorry, I was busy, my car broke down, yada, yada, yada. And I then convey with him, oh, okay, well, we have been talking every day. I thought you ghosted me. I'm just kind of got accustomed to us talking every day. I wasn't sure how to take it, but I assumed you had ghosted me. And he just responded back with, I'm sorry. He never called. I didn't call him. And in my opinion, I was like, I think maybe I should walk away from this. I don't think that he, quote unquote, likes me. It's giving mixed signals. I'm not sure how to take this, but I feel like I'm giving this energy of, when I see something that I don't like, I run because I'm so afraid of getting hurt. And this is where I need y'all's help. Am I overthinking it, or what's y'all's assessment?
Now, and I just want to confirm, how many days did he go absent?
I would say 24 hours. He just like a whole day.
Mm.
I didn't hear.
Okay.
He said he did say his car broke down.
But his phone didn't break.
And
She ain't got enough data. You need more data.
See, I know it's kind of tricky because you brought me okay. So you brought us through three guys.
Mm-hmm.
You brought us through the first guy who was a narcissist. You called him off. You brought us through the second guy who he had this weird relationship where y'all were dating. He would take you out only to get drinks, and that kind of broke off for whatever reason that broke off. And in this relationship here, this guy here, y'all freshly, this is pretty new, but he goes kind of absent for a day, and now you thinking that you need to move away from this guy because his communication got shoddy within the last 24 hours.
Yes.
You know, I mean, what's your thoughts on this?
I think it's too early. I mean, and you know, this is the thing. It depends on where he at financially, how big that car situation is. Because, you know, for some people, the car go down. I do need 48 hours to grieve because this is. I don't know how I'm gonna take care of my whole entire life. And then for other people, their car go down. It's like, hey, babe, you know, car messed up. Got to put it in the shop. May cost me $4,000-$5,000 to fix. You know, and it's not a big deal. So, you know, you really do have to ask some more questions. Like, are you okay? You know, is there anything that I can do to assist? And don't really do anything that's too much, right? Outside of giving him some pep talk, because you don't really know the guy. But you definitely want to dig in a little bit more, because it might be a really, you know, desperate type of situation. So I think for this one, you know, it's too early to say. It's too early to say.
It's just way too early. Anything we say is going to be an absolute crapshoot. You know, we're going to be all going off emotion. You don't even really know this guy. You know what I'm saying? And you haven't even talked to him enough to really get a feel for what's going on. Did you reach out to him to see how he's doing?
Well, like I said, so after I had called and texted him, and I didn't hear from him until this afternoon when he finally responded to my reaching out to him. I got busy with work and with everything, but no, bottom line, long story short, no, I did not call or text him after he said that he was sorry.
It's so many conversations that you got to have with this guy. I mean, to be honest with you, and that's my thing, ladies, like, if you like a guy and you're interested, and even if he doesn't answer the phone, but you think a call is needed, and hey, call him back. See if he answers. Hey, what's going on? Listen, I'm calling to make sure you're okay. And then at some point when you feel it's appropriate during that conversation, or maybe it's a little bit after the conversation, after you get some things resolved, then you have a conversation about your expectations for communication. Hey, listen, I know things happen. This is kind of what the vibe is. If something happens, hey, I want you to feel free to call me and just let me know what the situation is. Or even asking him, what does he typically do in those types of situations? So, you know, I don't think it ever makes sense to end a relationship without addressing the actual issue. The actual issue is that he went ghost. You called him, and your expectation that if I call you at some point,
he really
you
didn't even
go
ghost.
I was
Like,
gonna say,
it's 24 hours.
It sounds
He literally
like
said-
trauma. Yeah, I think the big thing about, you know, trauma is tricky, and I see this with a lot of women that I coach, is that you get done so poorly by somebody and they just like dog you out, and then you meet a decent dude, and now all of a sudden you get these senses. You're like, oh, well, what if this means that? What if that means that? And it's just like, what was these senses when homeboy was, you know, like dogging you out? And so now you're just like hypersensitive to all this stuff. You just met this man. You don't have enough data. He did hit you back. Something was going on with his car. Please text this man and ask him if he's okay. That'll take you a long way. You need to do that. And you literally just don't have enough data. And it sounds like you are hypersensitive from some of the things that you experience, but don't let it like ruin something just by like just a heightened moment. Like he had a car situation. He hit you back. We don't have enough, you know, data on this man. So it's, I mean this in a loving way, like, girl, this ain't the man to be calling in about, child. You ain't even got enough information.
You know, thank you. Yes, thank you for that, because I was literally in between the two lines of, I don't know him, so I might be reading into it too much. But just like you said, from past experience of dating, I get triggered very easily. So yeah, thank you for that.
Yeah.
And see that, man, I'm gonna be honest with you. I actually, now that I'm really thinking about how this played out, I think it actually is kind of messed up that you ain't even check on this brother. After he said,
no. She said
after no,
she said she didn't. She said, long story short, no.
His car, but see, that's what can happen when everybody's just in the space, just like in this protection mindset. You know what I'm saying? Like we're not really caring for one another.
May I add that the Friday night that I met him randomly, my big screen TV that was mounted on my wall fell and shattered. And I had to go out the next day and buy a new TV, a newer TV. The TV that fell and shattered wasn't even old. but it just randomly fell and shattered. And I I just say I didn't hold that. It didn't stop the way I showed up. But everybody's different, I would say, at the end of the day. So I can give him like, well, maybe how I show up isn't how he shows up.
Well, let's be clear now. A car and a TV is two different things.
Way
Two different things. And I mean, what is even the severity of the accident? I mean, did it get totaled? You know what I mean? Is he on 4 flats?
No,
Like,
we was on the phone when his car
Can
was
that man
acting
walk
up.
right now?
Yeah, we was on the phone when his car was acting up. So I know his car was having some mechanical issues, and he
Okay.
drives a newer truck. So I know he was getting it worked on. But I will just say, bottom line, like with me having have moved out, gotten rid of all my stuff, having to get all new stuff, like the finances just have not been lining up the way I've been hoping them to or wanting them to. So I get a car breaking down is very devastating. I've had that happen. But I just say, like, I mean, I've lost my daughter. I've had a lot of devastating situations happen back to back to back. And I don't know. I guess maybe I feel like I've been able to show up as my best self. So I guess maybe I expect people to be able to do the same.
I would say in this case, because I just want to confirm. I want to make sure. How long have you been dating a dude?
This guy that we're talking about just now wouldn't even call it dating. We're in a getting to know each other phase.
How long has that been?
Not long. Like, not long at all.
So you can imagine his car breaks down. Now he's got to fix the car. He's got to figure out how to get to work. Who knows what other responsibilities he's going to have. I would imagine, and it's not a slight to you, but you probably start going a little bit lower down that list, especially if he thinks the same thing you think. Hey, we're getting to know each other. So it could just be, hey, I'm handling a bunch of my responsibilities, trying to make sure I'm even eligible to continue dating. And, hey, I just was a little stressed, and I didn't get a chance to reach out to you. And I still got a lot on my plate. And you worried about why I didn't call you back versus trying to, give me at least some affirmations of how I'm going to be able to make it through the situation. And I think we all handle things differently, right? So you could have had these, really, challenging situations happen and make it through that unscathed or just make it through it to where you can kind of bounce back. But everybody is different. So I do think just allowing a little bit of grace and really just in general, investigating, doing your due diligence on exactly what's going on is going to benefit you. So just don't put what you done did on him.
First of all, I'm confused about why we anonymous with this problem here, because this is not even, listen, this ain't even anonymous worthy, especially we done seen you last time, sister. I know what you look like. You're beautiful. Listen, I'm hoping everything is well with you, because you went through a very tragic, situation as well.
And still out dating.
Just make sure, please, that you have emotionally and spiritually done what you got to do to really be out here, so you could really be operating with a clean and thorough mind and heart, as you're now about to bring people into your life, okay? No. Listen, we got to get to these people up in here.
You can't be selfish like that, anonymous.
You can't do that. You can't do that.
How far should I share with my daughter? Like, how far in should I go? Should I hold it off or wait?
It's way too early for that. I mean, like you said, y'all not even dating yet.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And I did hold off. So, okay.
I mean, you got to see if you genuinely like this dude. You got to see if he likes you. You got to see if, what you want to do in the future is in alignment. You got to make sure that you found that he has the same foundational principles which he operates his life by as you do. So it's so many things to figure out than when you're going to reveal one of the most, emotional, situations that you've been through in your entire life to this man. So get through the layers of getting to know him first and develop that trust before you open yourself up like that.
Perfect. Thank you so much, guys.
Much love to you, sweetheart. Man.
Fragile. So fragile.
Grieving.
I love talking to the initiates though, man.
It's heavy, when you coming into the dating space, and you've lost somebody because, that weight on your heart. And grieving is tricky. It's not even this one size fits all thing. Bringing other people into that space, trying to bring other people into that heart that's still trying to fix and heal itself. You just really, because we talk about detoxing from a previous relationship. That's also a detox, that needs to happen. And I don't even know if the right even word is a detox, but you do have to get your heart ready to love again and be prepared to have the capacity to love someone else while it's just going through so much. So, again, just really make sure you are being self-aware about where you are and not just running and pushing and rushing into these situations, because, I mean, that's a heavy situation.
And
Very,
make
very,
sure
very heavy.
that the things that you're carrying, that you have a nice bag. Okay, it's a nice bag for the things that you're carrying, because you can tell in some of the things that she shares, she's like, well, I experienced a big loss, so I still was able to run. It's like now you kind of carrying it. In Chicago, we call it a Jules grocery bag. It's like, it's kind of tattered, it's kind of got holes in it. And so a lot of times we experience things and everybody is carrying something with them, but like the bag that she's carrying in, you could tell it's still got some holes. It's kind of tattered and beat up and got some holes in it. So, she's still a little fragile. She should take some time.
That was
for herself.
A great observation, because she did state that. She said,
very
like,
fragile.
And
leveraging her pain in the wrong way. And I know that, like, I lost both of my parents. And I think that as I'm dating, sometimes I do feel like, boy, the worst shit that already happened to me, baby. So it ain't really nothing else that you could ever do. But it's like, I think I do carry it in a great looking bag, and I don't leverage it in, different ways. And she want to be very careful with that, like grief, things that she's experienced, trauma, and the way that she carries it into new relationships, yeah.
I agree with that, because you can sometimes lose that same level of empathy for the other person because you've been through it. Yeah. So you like, especially some of my ladies, some of y'all so tough and y'all have been through so many things. Y'all look at some of these dudes, some of the stuff they be doing, they're like, oh no, if I can do this, if I can lift this weight, I know you better get right, but you really can't do that. You really can't do that.
100%. Listen, I'm gonna take one last initiative before we go ahead and close this thing out, y'all. So we about to go ahead and close this thing out. I got one more person back here that we're going to take.
How you feeling? You got some stamina? You good?
Oh, no, yeah, I'm good.
First of all, listen, if y'all ain't got y'all cameras on back here, y'all, it's going to be tough. When y'all come backstage, have your camera on, have the best lighting that you can have. Don't be seasoning no chicken, right?
Well, no, I like
y'all be back there. No, this ain't that show. Y'all be back there, damn, making rolling dumplings and damn doing all type. Just be ready to be on the hardly initiated show, guys. All right, when we go about putting it together. So
you got Kay.
I got Kay here, man. Kay, what's up, love? How you doing?
What's up? I like that. What's up, Kay?
Kay came on here with the energy. Kay, you the last call for the night. All right, talk to us, Kay. First of all, give us your age and your location.
So my name is Kay. I am 32, and I'm located in Clinton, Mississippi.
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 Humpback. No, it's humpback. All
right, well look. Tell me what's going on with you.
Okay, so I have been dating a guy for about 4 months. He lost his wife back in July of last year. A month and a half of us dating, he had asked me how would I feel if we were in a monogamous relationship. I told him it was too soon. It was just too soon. So in January, I asked him, where did he see us in 3 to 6 months? He said he couldn't really answer that. He wasn't sure. He was just trying to get himself together. So I just want to know, is he playing me, or should I kind of be patient and wait to see how things will go? Or I don't know. I want to allow him to heal and grieve, but at the same time, if things are going in a positive direction, I've met some of his friends, some of his family, and we both, have established that right now we're dating, but we're just trying to see how things go. But yeah, it's just, I don't know. I'm just trying to get clarity on that,
That's it. It's so crazy because that's one of the lines, and I think ladies hear a lot, is like, I'm trying to get my stuff together. But I think with that, it's like, sometimes, don't get me wrong, sometimes men are intentionally playing women, and other times men are just not clear about what they even want from their life. So how could they be clear about where you fit in? You know what I mean? So if this guy says he's trying to get his things together, I'm asking, like, well, what does that mean? What are you trying to get together? So if you can't figure out where you see us in 3 to 6 months, where do you see yourself in 3 to 6 months? And if he has some confusion there, then it may not be that he's playing you. It's just that, like, he's just confused about what he wants to do with his own life. And in this case, he's not really somebody that could even date you seriously.
But y'all missed the big thing. The big thing is that he asked you. He asked you what. I think you said something like
Monogamous relationship.
Yeah. How do you feel about us being in a monogamous relationship? And men are very tricky, and like rejection is a thing. And you said I'm not ready. Now here you come fishing back around, talking about where do you see us in 3 to 6 months? He actually already kind of put his intention out there, and you ducked it. You were like, oh, I don't know. I think it's a little too soon. So I think that's just an interesting perspective. A lot of times, just from the things that you say, not that you should have changed your mind or said something differently, but I think he kind of was more so, seemed to be streaming down the path that you are looking for answers for now, and you were not ready at that moment. And so you may kind of, got him stuttering a little bit now.
Now that could be true, but she did state, "Hey, I'm interested, but it's just a little bit too early." Mm-hmm. And I think that's actually consistent. Like, Absolutely. Hey, it's a little bit too early, so why don't you let me know what I can look forward to? I think that absolutely makes sense. So in this case, I really do think it's still some due diligence that needs to be done. I wouldn't say that he's playing you in this case. I just think you really want to make sure that your man is clear on how his mm-hmm. life looks first. Mm-hmm. And I think that's going to answer a lot of questions for you.
Honestly, I would say this though. Shout out and listen. I'm a questionnaire. I like really great questions. I think asking somebody, where do you see us in the next 3 to 6 months? Is a really great question.
I think that makes a lot of sense.
I think that's a really great question. That's like one of those simple, easy ones that most people just don't ask. You might ask a worse version of that, like, what are we? Or something like that. Right. Right. No, that's a way better question. Like, because now that's a vision question, right? That's an intention question. That's a plan question. And a brother that actually really, really got something up his sleeve, he gonna knock that one out the park.
And the thing is, that brother also has thought about that. That's the thing. A lot of men and women have not thought about what the next 3 to 6 months looks like. So if he is saying, usually I'm getting my stuff together is usually I have no idea. That's really what it is. And we used to have this guy that we used to work with. He was actually one of the guys was mentoring. And we used to ask him like, hey, what have you been working on? What did he used to say? We used to ask him, he's like, yeah, I've been on my studies or something.
Yeah, like this random, it was like a random personal development. Like, I've been working on my something. Yeah. It was just something.
Just something really random.
And that's a good point. You really got to get clarity up to what that also means if you seriously want to pursue this brother as well. Because, when a man says that, it could just mean so many things. It could literally just mean like, yo, my paper is not really right now. Yeah. So, and we had Dr. Tart on here. Dr. Tart literally said the number one reason most men do not want to get married is because their money is not where they want it to be. That's like one of the biggest reasons mm-hmm. that men will say that they don't want to pursue a long-term relationship, especially if a man is a true provider and he know he gonna need to bring some bread to the table. It could literally just be that. Like you ask some follow-up questions like, what exactly does this mean? Hey, like, I'm really working on my finances. I do want a long-term relationship. I do want a very serious relationship. But I want to be able to get to XYZ first, but I still want to seriously date you. Or it could just mean I'm just lost as hell in life. I don't know. I got a low key right. addiction right now. I got a low key, crack addiction going on right now, and I'm irresponsible with my finances. I don't know what the hell it means. But that's why, again, you really gotta. I think you asked a great initial question, but just really figure out what that really even means, or what the brother's talking about.
Now the guys in the chat, they like, yo, he was clear. But I don't think only thing that you asking a woman she wants to be a monogamous relationship means that you just don't want her dealing with nobody else, and you okay with not dealing with nobody else. I don't think that's not a vision.
But see, the reason why I mentioned that was because she said, I don't know, am I overthinking it? Am I like, is it too soon? And I'm just like, listen to what a man says. It was on his mind.
I asked that was because his wife had passed away in July of last year. We met in October of last year. A month and a half later, he's like, okay, Kay, how would you feel if we were in a monogamous relationship? Mm-hmm. And I said, well, I feel like it's too soon.
Oh, no, I get it.
I mean, that was too soon. I think that was a great answer.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, wife just passed.
Yeah, but I mean, what? But so I mean, I think I'm going to ask you a question that you're not really sure the answer to. So, what does he want out of his next relationship?
So that's the thing. I'm trying to figure that out.
Okay, so what are y'all talking about when y'all get together?
So we'll talk about relationships here and there. It's just him basically saying that he's trying to work on himself, with church and things like that.
With church and with things like that.
Yeah, like what's the goal? You get what I'm saying?
Like, is he trying to spiritual or financial?
Spiritual, financial. He's not where he wants to be. He's just kind of like, it's financial ministry. His finances, it's really finances in his ministry because he's a part of a church, and his wife that passed away, he was going to their church, so he's trying to find another church home. But that was like the two main things: ministry and his finances. He has reiterated to me numerous of times that he likes me. He likes where things are going. He feels like things is going in a positive direction. And he still wants to get to know me. But it's just been such a confusing process for me because he hasn't. It's been the monogamous thing a month and a half, and then when I said it was too soon, he's like, "Well, let's touch bases 30 days later." Within that time, I asked him, "Where do you see us in 3 to 6 months?" And then that's when he said, I don't know. I have a lot going on. I have my ministry. I'm trying to figure out my finances, just things like that.
So I think a reasonable request is not, hey, let's talk every day. A reasonable request is like, hey, you know what? I like you a lot. I'm very interested. I think, hit them with them affirmations. Hey, I think you can do anything you want to do. I think you the best. What Shahrazad Ali was telling us.
Right.
And then tell them, hey, you know what? I think one of a really good thing is if you could just take some time to think about me and, what you like, what you don't like, and how I can help you out on your journey to get where you need to get. And if he can come up with a generally decent plan for that, I think then you're going to see that he's invested. Well, you don't like that. You don't like that. Tell me why you don't like that.
Well, some of the things I did like.
Okay.
But you basically is giving Bob the Builder. Like you're basically asking her to position herself in a place with a man that she's getting to know to help him get to his no, ma'am.
See, and that's the thing. Like, the help doesn't have to be financially. It can be like this is the thing. We literally had Shahrazad Ali. The things that she was saying, the affirmations she was dropping on us. When I tell you that I wanted to do push-ups, I wanted to go out and get more money, I wanted to be successful, I wanted to treat women a better way. So support doesn't always have to come in the sacrificial way. And asking a man, that you're getting to know kind of how you could fit in, I think that's very clear that you are seriously interested in this man.
I mean, yeah, but I think as well, like, as a woman, she shouldn't position herself in that way so soon. I agree with you. If this is your partner, somebody that you're interested in down the line, you definitely can, you want to build him up. You want to be a helpmate. You want to be his peripheral, his neck. All of those things can be true. But at this stage, to position herself as to like, I know you got a lot on your plate, like, what can I do or how can I, be in your life to help you get there? I think that's definitely just a bit much.
That's very assumptive because asking what could I do doesn't mean if you got 10 things, I'm going to do every single thing. When she gets the idea and he gives her, hey, what this might look like, she can go through that list and say, hey, you know what? This is something I could definitely do.
Why would she want to do that right now? That's all I'm saying is that why would that? The thing is that some of the things that you're saying, like the affirmations and build him up, absolutely. But why would she want to put herself in a position to want to sow into him? And I think she said like 4 months. She said, where do you see yourself in 3 to 6 months? That's a big thing.
See, it's not positioning herself to be at this place where she is sacrificial. It's seeing if this guy is serious enough about her to even plot out what that might look like. So if she gives the guy, say, hey, I like you a lot. Hey, if you could do this for me, that guy comes back with some, he's taking the initiative to actually plan for her and give her what a vision might look like. I think that's a sign that guy's very serious about dating her.
I think you don't like the way that sounds. I think that's the biggest thing to you. Like you don't like the way
It's not about sounding.
It's a request. It's not actually doing anything.
Well, y'all have to understand, like, as a woman, this is how women lose their power so much. It's the overpouring, the oversharing, and the always doing too much too soon. And so for somebody who loves to shower, loves to like be all over their man and, you know, helping him and all this kind of stuff, we're talking about a very short-lived relationship and literally saying like, how can I help you reach your goals? That's, to me, is deep. Is deep too soon. And I always tell women, you have to have an emotional reserve. You got to keep a little bit. And I think it's just far too soon for her to position herself as a helpmate right now.
Oh,
Period.
I think that's I think that's preference right there.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's a principle.
Yeah.
I think that's more preference than principle.
Because well, the thing is, it's not positioning, it's a request. And the thing is, he could go back, spend time thinking about this young lady and come to the conclusion, hey, you know what? I thought about this. I thought about what's going on in my life. I thought about what I need. And you know what I need? Maybe I need some time to actually mourn the situation and actually get over this situation. So I'm glad that you brought that to my attention. And now this is how I'm going to handle you. And this is how I'm going to take care of this.
But that's not what you said.
No, all I said was make a request. I don't know what this guy.
Well, see, I think again, that's why I said it comes back to sound, because what you didn't like was, because I think what Ryan gave, you got to know again how to talk to a man in a certain way to get what you want, and playing into, because the way Ryan spoke into it really played into his ego.
Exactly.
Like it was a way where you communicating with, look, hey, look, listen, obviously I'm still very interested in you. I'm still, you don't know what you got going on. And what I would like for you to figure out and do is put together the plan for your future so we can see where, I best fit in this and how I could best support you on the way to wherever you're trying to get to. Pretty much was ultimately what Ryan stated. But you're saying that you don't like a woman positioning herself, even in a statement, to figure out at all how she can help a man get to anywhere at the early stages of a relationship.
That's exactly what I'm saying.
Right. And see, the thing about it is,
but we're not talking about building him up. I'm talking about the offer for her to say, hey, you seem to have a lot going on. Let me know where I could fit into that, and let me know what role I can play into helping you get there. Is that what you said? Am I missing that?
Yes. So she can get a vision for what this woman looks like in his future, not so she can go out and do everything that's on his list. If a woman asks me right now, hey, what does this look like? I'm going to tell her exactly how a woman can fit in my life. It don't mean that she got to start cooking for me every day. It don't mean that she got to give me back rubs and shoulder rubs. It just means so now she understands exactly what I'm looking for, because I have a clear vision for where I'm going in my life and the type of woman that I met. So now she understands exactly what's going on, and she could easily make the decision, and we could have a conversation about what she's comfortable with, what she's not comfortable with, what could potentially work for her, what can't work for her. And now we having more in-depth conversations than just spending time or going tit for tat. And she has a deeper understanding of what my overall vision is and how I see a good woman and how a good woman could fit in my life.
I think we were talking about two totally different things, but also all of that can be true without the offer of, hey, how can I help you get there? How can I, what role do I play? How can I get you to that place? How can I sow into you, or, build? So I think that we were talking about, two different things.
Well, yeah, I'm not saying that, not saying, hey, give me a job and I'm going to do it. It's just saying, hey, what does this look like? Because what she's asking is, she literally asked that question, but in a very vague way. It was, hey, where do you see us in 3 to 6 months? He gave a vague answer. So now she wants a little bit more. So why not communicate, hey, look, I really rock with you, but you got to be a little bit more clear about what's going on in a very nice way that has him feel appreciated and has him wanting to show this woman that he actually cares about her by taking time out of his day and thinking about the relationship and thinking about her.
That's the I agree to disagree face right there.
And
it's interesting because
I think the ladies it confused about that.
Well, see, I think that what you're leveraging is like ask for clarity. Yes, you want to sow into him. You want to build him up. You want to say things properly or make him feel good about the thing so that you can get what you want out of a man. I just struggle with her wanting that type of deep connection or offering that at this very early stage. She gotta keep a little bit on lock, and so yeah.
That's
my
interesting.
opinion
And listen,
about
the
that.
chat also feels very, it's a lot of different opinions that's going on in the chat as well about that conversation. So I 100% understand.
What is Kay thinking?
What do you mean? What is Kay thinking?
Kay, what you think about
First of all,
that?
I forgot Kay was on the damn. Kay, you still here? What the
I
hell?
felt like she was still there.
I'm listening because this has been a thing in my mind for the last couple of months. For me, I just want to know, should I wait for him to kind of get himself together, but then still be supportive, or just hang it up? Walk away from the situation, call it a wash. I'm so lost. Definitely with you guys saying what you saying, it's still, different perspectives. One being a woman, one being a man. So it's just two different perspectives with it. So yeah.
Kay said, I'm just as damn confused before I called y'all.
Well, support is always good, no matter what. Support is always good. It doesn't sound like he's, dragging his feet, or like you'll be, it'll take forever. I think it's more so like y'all still have a little bit more get to knowing to do. And I think contrary to what most people think I would say, I still feel like it's very soon. And, it's a lot of deep conversations happen. I think a lot of times if you're older, and like you said, he's been married before, he lost his wife, and, things like that, it does seem like, things progress quicker than normal. But I think generally speaking, it's just like, take some time, get to know him, enjoy him, hang out, learn more about him. And, everybody's going through something. I think it's just more so the extent to which his life is together and how much work and time is going to take away from y'all relationship to do that. And eventually you're going to be a pivotal role in getting his life together, so.
Oh, little shade there right there. I saw her eyes twinkle a little bit, but that I actually do agree with. But Kay, thank you so much for coming up on here, sister. You have a blessed day, okay?
You too. Y'all take care.
Thank you.
Absolutely. And listen, I know I said that was the last one, but I'm gonna end this here with my brother, because this one here, this is a hardly initiated brother here. What's up, Brian? How you doing, brother?
What's up, man? My name is Brian, 39, and right now I'm currently in Hilton Head, South Carolina.
All right, quick summary for Brian. Brian has been dating a young lady. This is literally your third time appearing on the Harley Initiated podcast. Man, interesting situation. You started giving a little bit too fast. Y'all wasn't on the same page. You felt like she wasn't reciprocating. She told you that, she didn't have the interest that you wanted to have, and we told you that you needed to let that situation go. Give us the follow-up, Brian. Where are you guys today?
Together, just out, and
hold on, Brian. Listen.
Her correctly.
Brian, Paul, you got to pause real quick, Brian. You must have got that damn $5 AT&T credit, because your internet right now, Brian, is not about to survive. This conversation. But you sound clear right now, so let's start over. If it doesn't sound clear again, I'm unfortunately have to let you go. Hopefully we keep it strong here, but let me know where we at.
Yeah, we're still together. We're still working things out. I just feel like the first two times I was on the podcast, I didn't fully represent the situation correctly with all the context and details and everything. But regarding the conversation about giving too fast, too soon, or the young lady helping the guy out, I just personally think it's where you at in your life. Because for me, I'm 39, about to retire from the military in 3 months. When I look for a partner, I always go into a relationship, also about how will they fit into my life, and then how can I, help them achieve their goals as well. Because being in the military, I get a lot of resources for free that people in the civilian world would pay thousands of dollars for. And, at the end of the day, if you're going to be in a relationship with somebody, their success is pretty much your success. So you definitely want to try to build, the person up, because at the end of the day, you think of it not as a business transaction, but you think about hey, what is it going to cost me? And if it doesn't really cost you much to give somebody some time to encouragement or show them a roadmap on how to be successful, then, why not help them out? Because if it works out in the long run, then y'all both went.
All right, hold on, Brian.
That's
Hold
just
on,
my
wait.
opinion.
Not only, so you still dating this young lady now?
Yes.
Correct.
Yes.
Okay, and you communicated your dissatisfaction with the relationship. Has she been showing you anything different since the last time you've been on here, or is she still pretty much?
Yeah, most definitely. We had a heart-to-heart talk. All honestly, she saw the podcasts, and then I look at Ryan. It's all right. Look at y'all.
Crazy. I'm shocked by that. She saw it. Wait, hold on. Did you send it to her?
Yeah, she asked me because I'm really big on clarity and communications. I was like, my thing is, if I gotta hide it from her, then it's not the woman I should be with. And I sent it to her because she asked to see the podcast, and we had a conversation.
Well, she was pissed off, wasn't she?
What woman wouldn't be pissed off?
Okay, now, listen. What did she do after seeing that? Did she get your perspective from a different light? Did that start a great Okay.
Yeah, it was a really good conversation we had because she saw it from my perspective, and then she made me see it from her perspective as well. And all honestly, I didn't really protect her in the way I should have as a man, because I was like, ugh. I was like, when I rewatched the podcast, I was like, dang, didn't go well at all. But the conversation was, we definitely had a really good conversation, and our both person heard, and we made sure we understood. And just like any relationship, clarity, like what the young lady was talking about, like, hey, a guy should text or communicate every day. Communication is really big, I believe, in a relationship to like really making a relationship work, because I personally think if you can just get that communication piece down, like you can be solid, you can work a lot of things out in a relationship. So, and we definitely have some serious strides and some really deep conversations. The Harley initiated cars, I'm gonna throw my shout out there for the Harley initiated cars. They definitely work. Get you down deep, get you into like a below the surface level conversation, but get you into some really serious deep conversation.
Okay, so
I'm gonna drop the link. I got a question for you, my man. Have y'all started having sex yet? Because I know you said that you was ready to take it there.
No.
Okay.
Well, here's what I'll say, Brian. Because you're a very giving brother, benevolent brother.
Generous with time and money.
Very generous with time and money. And from what I heard last time, the biggest concern I had was that it just seemed like the level of interest wasn't the same. And just from my experience with a woman, when a woman's interest is not there, and it's not by your own doing, right? Not like you're not mistreating her, you're not not calling her, you're doing all the things right, and her interest isn't there, then that's a separate issue. If you found out that you were causing her interest to be where it is, and that could be repaired, and y'all could you could build that to get on a different level, then cool. But again, just be careful, because when it comes to attraction, some things are just out of our hands. And I just want to make sure you are not in a position where you pouring into a cup that got a hole at the bottom of it.
Yeah, I'm just pouring. Yeah, I got you. I'm just pouring and nothing's getting filled.
Just make sure you don't send her this damn show. All right? All right,
Brian. Listen, we're gonna continue to keep up with this, but I am not a fan of this young lady, man.
I'm not either. I'm not very, because again, once a woman's interest is at a point where it's because it seems, I'm gonna be honest, it seems like an attraction issue, and once it's an attraction issue, I mean it's like biology at that point, brother. Like, I don't even know. I don't even think. I mean, you took her to Paris, bro. Like,
we didn't go to Paris.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I mean,
no, I'm sorry. You took her to Dubai.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
You took
And Paris was
on the horizon.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
Yeah. And I'm not gonna get into the details. We had the conversation already.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna trust that we not putting all this good content and you taking it to waste. So please just make sure you're doing right by yourself, okay?
I appreciate it.
Much love to you, brother.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I rock with this, man. I rock with him.
I do rock with Brian, man, and on both ends of the spectrum, man.
Yeah.
Like dating can be tricky.
And you got to be careful too, because women will tell you how to date them, and it don't work.
Yeah, I mean,
It don't work.
That's the tricky thing about it, because sometimes a woman just can't help what she's attracted to, and a lot of time, if a woman details out what she's attracted to, it ain't always that list.
Try it
verbatim.
Try it and see what happens.
I mean, because a lot of times they'll say all you got to do is take care of me, call me, love me. I mean, I'm pretty
All
sure
the stuff that you're doing
I'm
right
pretty
now.
sure my man Brian was executing
Every single one.
that list.
Call me every day. Tell me you love me. Take me out on trips. Do this.
But
and
sometimes
he probably
that's
was doing it all.
that spark though. Sometimes that spark, if it ain't there,
Yeah.
it ain't much you could do with that, brother. So you just gotta kind of know when you fighting an uphill battle on that one. I will say this, man. I'm gonna end it on this note here, because the biggest thing I say, being somebody, all of us here are singles, in 2024. It really does seem like in the space that we're in, everybody has this mindset that I have to protect what I have, right? Like I can't give too much too soon. I'm not about to spend no money. No, I'm not about to spend no money on this woman. I don't know this woman. I'm not about to give him that. I'm not, but like the cynical nature that we have is at an all-time high. The level of trust issues that we have as a culture is at an all-time high, and that sucks that we got to this place. We spoke to Sister Shahrazad Ali, one of our elders, one of our queens, and she gave us a bit of a historical breakdown on how this is not just, we just seeing this gender war every day when we wake up, but this has been something that's been brewing. She broke it down to us since the 60s, believe it or not. This is not just something we woke up and got in front of. It's very difficult for a people to get to a point that we're at now, this point of contention we're at as a culture. It really sucks why these conversations are happening everywhere, and why you seeing just this divisive nature of man versus woman. We have been working hard to get here for quite some time, but I would say it is a way that you do have to learn how to operate. And again, there's such a heavy absence of love just between one another. And because that is true, and we understand and acknowledge that, it's just really important that you do your best to make sure that you are just filtering through and just finding the absolute best people to build your life with. Because eventually that's what the goal is, to find somebody to build with. And in the culture that we have right now, it's just very tricky, because we're in a very selfish, individualistic culture just in general. And I just encourage everybody in a cynical culture not to lose your hope, or let this poison you, and let this poison your energy and how you approach and go from person to person, because you don't want that residue on you, that hate on you. And you don't want to be taking that into these new relationships, because you're going to be up on here on the initiation hotline, asking us about questions that really wouldn't even happen if your energy was just clean, if that makes sense. And I don't want to beat a dead horse, y'all, but what I do want to do is close this out on a positive note. And I want to just make sure that y'all leave these episodes inspired and as hopeful as you possibly could. And we got a couple chats that we want to read before we get up out of here, right?
Yeah, big facts. It's the last day of the month. Well, tomorrow's the last day of the month, but it's the last day that we're filming this month until we come back on Monday with another episode. So I'm actually getting ready to drop 10 new memberships. And guys, I know we haven't shared this, but Tyshawn and I are working on how to improve the membership.
That's
so
facts.
Be patient for that, because things are going to start changing, and you're going to get a lot more value from being a hardly initiate. So be patient on that. That's coming in March. But real quick, shout out to all the wonderful new members joining us this evening. Shout out to my girl Kanika, and I hope I pronounced that right, Kanika B, for gifting a membership. And shout out to everybody still going crazy buying these cars, right? We had some super chats. Shout out to my boy Dre. Shout out to Becky, who actually came on. Thank you for bringing me up. and the advice. I'll be more direct, trust in God and my intuition. Shout out to 3 months of membership.
Absolutely.
And let me go in here. I'm going to drop these dating cards real quick. Guys, the dating cards link, I really want y'all to click that. Listen, everybody is getting the dating cards, but this is what I want you to do. I want you to get them, of course, but this is what I really want you to do. If you have already got the Harley Initiated Dating Deck and you have actually used it and it actually provided value, I want you to click the link at the top of the chat and in the description. Scroll down a bit to where you see leave a review. Guys, we are trying to look official. That new site is looking beautiful.
Yeah.
And we just really want to get as many authentic reviews as possible. So if we got, because nothing less than a 4. Okay, nothing less than a 4. If we got a 4, that's okay. We'll take that. But 5s, we need those 5s, right? And I'm gonna drop this membership in here right now. So we good.
And what I want to let y'all know, guys, look, thank you so much for tuning into this episode. This next week, y'all, we're gonna put some of our best work out in the month of March. Next Monday, guys, this upcoming Monday at 8 p.m. Y'all know every Monday and Wednesday we are bringing you this heat. This upcoming Monday, we actually got Queen Afua coming on the Hardly Initiated podcast, which, by the way, I've been working so hard to get Queen Afua. I don't know if y'all know who that is. That's the author of Sacred Woman, one of the greatest personal development books for women written over the last few generations. Incredible. She's coming here and we're going to have a deep conversation. All right. I've been preparing for Queen Afua's conversation since we started this show. And even next Wednesday, we actually got Dr. Spirit coming back to the show as well. So we are going to have an incredible month of March, but in general, next week is going to be phenomenal. Thank you guys so much for tuning into another episode. And thank you for coming all the way out from DC to kick it here with us over here in ATL. Much love to you, full of wisdom. And I truly believe you gave the audience some really great game today and really great perspective in general, which I always appreciate. And guys, if you made it this far, please like and subscribe. We use it. We need it to grow the platform. And y'all already know how we end the show, guys. Hardly Initiated. We are out.